But yeah, we're having a great day. Hope you guys are having as good of a day as we are here in these markets. Yes, Tesla, please fall. I say yes, let to that. But also I say yes, let everyone being here today. Let's do our roll call. But also I want to introduce you all to the pal to my right, whose name is...
Hey, yeah, I actually had the mic ready, just not on my body. Now it is on my body. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as that midday show. Let's do that patented roll call, baby, because we already have everybody coming in. I see you, Chantal Street. Okay, Mateus Lane. Dude Rocks 420. What are you going to be doing tonight, my man? That's what I want to know. JF Trader, John H. Balan MB. Thank you, Marco. That's an interesting name. We got the OG Darwin, Charlie Tafts dancing in the chat. We got Sauce, Fiddlebeck, Hell's Gate. Oh, that sounds ominous. Ponzi, Fonzie, Debato. We got Bright Awakening and Picky Eater. And then Zolt the Bolt is also with us, which is very important. Eddie R in the house, Peter and T. Orion. Gorev, what's up, Gorev, my man? 605. We got Mary L. We got Eric S. And always Aaron and Joanna Brewster. In the house. Welcome, everybody. Good morning, Adara.
Good morning. Also, fun fact, I actually accidentally said Joanna Burdett once on the Tuesday, and they both thought it was really funny. I was very tired. But yeah, this is when you were out. But yeah, so great times to everyone. Hope you guys are all having a great day. I did take a little Tesla short, so I'll yap about that for a couple seconds. Did I get out too early? Sure, but I'm trying to scout more, so I'm not going to cry over spilt milk. Got involved here at this 176. Got out around 176.20. Got out 175.90. I'll take like 30 pennies on Tesla. Obviously could have taken more pennies on Tesla, but I'd rather just short the pops. And I mean, I loved these wicks. To me, these wicks were saying, they were screaming, Adara, take me short. Adara, short me. So I said, okay, Tesla, calm down. I'll get short. Like, we don't need to scream about it. But yeah, if we have another opportunity like that I see that I'm like, whew, then I'll get back involved. Meta is also looking like a short to me, so we're gonna try to get involved in this one. Smaller share size because I dislike trading Meta because I don't like the spread. So if we break above, we're gonna give this 20 pennies and then we'll get out. Also, we would love to shout out Freedom and Wealth, our new podcast starring Brendan and Sean Katina. So we're gonna get everyone to follow that Freedom and Wealth podcast. There's also something going around as well. I think there's like a command for that in the chat as well. So follow Freedom and Wealth if you like freedom and wealth and Trader TV Live. What are you looking at
make
today?
Sure to go to YouTube, guys, and subscribe now. The inaugural one is coming this Saturday. We can't wait for that. A lot of work is being put in. Trust me, we see it every day here behind the scenes. Lots and lots of work with the Katina man, Brendan, obviously, and a lot of other people also working behind the scenes, not the least of which, obviously, Fabian, Chilean Nightmare, doing a lot of work there. All right, guys, here is the headline for the Moderna news here that Neil brought to you at the end. Moderna receives U.S. FDA approval for RSV vaccine, and apparently it's going to be one dose. I'm still kind of, vaccinated out here, so that's just my personal opinion, but that is the look. As we look at the stock right now, it did pop up aggressively there into that 158 and a quarter, and now it's coming all the way back down, right into that 152. So really selling off the entire thing there from top to bottom. $6 worth of range in exactly 4 minutes. Wow. Moderna, very interesting look here. We're going to have to keep this one on the set side chart, but we'll leave that one for now. Guys, I want to let you know I'm still in the sim. Today apparently is the last day. Apparently it takes 48 hours for the test to process. So we did that yesterday morning. Hopefully by Monday, we will be good to go. So today, hopefully last day in the sim. Now, Donald John Trump, obviously big name yesterday. We're not going to talk about the politics, but we are going to talk about the name. Let me tell you that. And there is awfully a lot of love between this stock and that $50 level. Look at the accumulation in front of $50 this morning. Sure, we were above it in the pre. Sure, we tanked off the bell there all the way down to 47.5. But look at this. We've been dancing at this $50 all morning. So I'm going to have this one on the side chart. I'm going to have alerts for a decided break of 50, and then we're going to figure out exactly how we want to trade it. The volume weighted average price on this bad boy here at the $half level, 50.50 is where VWAP is hanging out, but I would submit to you that that's not the level at the moment. The whole dollar $10, $50 level really seems to be that key area of resistance on the day. So we're going to keep tabs on that. I want to shout out Donnie Zimbabwe, $10 super chat, $9.99. Thank you very much, my friend. He says as follows. I think he sent that right before the morning show ended. My NVIDIA puts had me beaming ear to ear 15 minutes ago. Happy trading, guys. Don't stress the NVIDIA short. Exit earlier. Neil, still, you are making boss moves, my man. Shout out to you, Donnie Zimbabwe, sending Neil all the love there.
Yes, also thank you, Brendan, for messaging us saying that this Donald Trump press conference is beginning.
Good.
I'm going to be live streaming that so I can hear if any things are said on that. Oh yeah, okay, I have it up, so I'm gonna be listening to that, let you guys know if I hear anything. Also, Meta, I got out of this short, 50 pennies in the money. I'm not gonna cry about that. Thank you. But so the reason I got out, I was initially trying to wait for longer, but I got out because we got to 456, then bounced right back with the viciousness back to 456.50. I said, that's not really smoke I want, so I got out. Looks like though we are continuing lower, so nice look at Meta. I had 2 Mag 7 shorts I'm happy with right now. Trying to see if there's more where that came from. Nike though, thank you to Kyle Burdett for bringing this one up. Okay, I like this look. We actually do have lower highs and lower lows here, and I think this one could go, with that 93.05 base, it could give you almost $1. So I'm gonna keep this one up here on Nike. Andre Borgia asking for my thoughts on Amazon. I have not thought about the same thing. I'm going to be really honest with you. We had a bad catalyst on this with regards to them. There's going to be a probe into their Zoox cars and some crashes there. Amazon, at least in the 5-minute, looks like it's trying to maybe recover a little bit. If we bounce off 174.85, the top of that little chop and turn area earlier after that very, what is this, a bear flag breakout? I think this could be an interesting look here at this 174.80. So yeah, that's my look on Amazon, Andre Borgia. I want to see this bounce if we have it.
All right, Apple just absolutely tanked down to 190.47, broke that 191.25 closing print from yesterday. I don't see a headline in. I'm long. Again, guys, last day in the sim for me, so I am in the sim. We're long here at 57s, already 2 profit takers there through 69 and 75. Let's see if this one can make it back nearer that 191.25-ish close. I'm going to use that 191.25-ish as a level of resistance. It was acting as support essentially all morning, and now the bottom came off Apple. And the reason I got it here is because, well, the IB low is there. And we're going to talk exactly about that topic in about 1 minute once we start the lesson. But that was not the IB low. Sorry, that was the institutional print there at 8 a.m. But we're going to talk about IB highs and lows today for our futures lesson. I just want to put one more out here for my Apple trade. What happened? There we go. I'm going to put it up in the mid-90s. All right, so we just got printed on that 80s one, and it's headed back up. A bit of a bottoming tail candle coming in on the dead one right now, AAPL. We'll see if we get printed. We just got printed there, high 80s. Let's see if we get mid-90s. We're looking for that mid-90s print soon. Come on. We'll get it soon, so we'll just leave that one to be. But yeah, interesting look there on Apple. Not sure exactly what that was all about. They're coming down midday. Nothing here coming in on my blotter, to be honest with you. So I'll just leave that there. We got the print as it comes back right into 191. So look for that 191.25, guys. I think that will be a level of resistance. All right, we got Donnie Zimbabwe with another $10 super chat, baby, $9.99. He goes on to say, hey guys, what's your thoughts on the Q's trajectory at the moment? Are we on for a recovery bounce? Yeah, that would be nice. We're below 18.4 at the moment on the NQ June contract. Interesting, Donnie, because we really have been retracing aggressively since making all-time highs on the NQ, and I think that's probably healthy, but not great for the longs, obviously. But we're still above the 50 period here on the daily, Donnie. The 50 period's hanging out at 18.3 by my estimation, which is a good look. You have some of these moving averages pointing down, but the shorter term moving averages, there's a lot of noise. So when you look at the 10 and the 20 on the daily, I wouldn't put too much stock into that. I think it's a healthy retracement. Let's look at the 15-minute here to see what the key areas of support are. So we haven't been down here in some time. I would just base everything myself off the 300-point level to see if we can stay above that, and then using 400 as resistance, which on the 15, it's already showing you that 400 is acting as resistance on the day. Can't really break through that ever since that big dump yesterday that we took in the, or not yesterday, in this morning, dumping off 18,668. Not really sure why we're dumping, other than, you know, just some profit taking there or there.
Yeah, so I am listening to the conference, just so you guys know. A lot of things are being said. None of them really seem like things that would be moving DJT. Someone apparently looks like an angel, and they act like a devil. I don't know. I'm listening. I'm just saying what I am hearing right now. We'll take a look at DJT, see if it's moving around. But yeah, basically, right now, just kind of a recap of the trials, what's happening right now from Trump's
He's made his feelings clear.
And pardon?
He's made his feelings clear.
Oh yeah, that's what. Yeah. So if there's anything big, I will let you guys know. But just so you guys know, I am listening to it. DJT trying to bounce off the 9 EMA right now. So Tesla. This Tesla rejection of that 175.80, I was looking for it, didn't end up getting involved, but I am involved in Nike. I want to shout out Kyle Burdett for calling this one out. I like this because we had them move up to 93.95. That was the previous pre-market area. Then we rejected, got involved around 93.90. So if we break above that 95 decisively, I'm out. I'm not risking very much in this trade, but I would love to see that move at least here into 93.64s, then save pieces for dreams. But let's take a look at Disney as well, because Kyle Burdett and Convicted, that's I like that name in the chat. I guess you have to have conviction as a trader, so I like that. Kyle Burdett saying Disney could be a short. I just think Disney, this is probably not a setup I would necessarily be looking at here, short for myself anyway. But I think Kyle, I think you mentioned that 104 level. I'll keep a look at that here. So I love this bounce at the 9 EMA and VWAP for Disney. But yeah, I think if we get to 104 and reject, I know 104 Disney's been a short in the past. That could be a nice look there. Microsoft also seeing lower highs, lower lows. I am not Sharif, who's been the Microsoft whisperer as of late, so I don't know if those Bill Gates will open for me, but I'll have to be taking a look at that.
I just need to mention, because Neil just put it in the chat, guys, CZR is moving. I don't have eyes on the deets on this yet, but here is the look. Carl Icahn stake, that's the headline I'm being told by Neil. CZR, Caesars Entertainment, here is the headline coming in, I believe, initially at 11:06. Carl Icahn reportedly builds sizable stake in Caesars Entertainment, and that's getting this bad boy to move off that 33 base that it was hanging out all morning. 37.25 top right now. Big move up here for CZR Midday on reports that Carl Icahn be building up his stake, I own portfolio, I don't know, whatever, in Caesars, so have a look for that. Also, we'll get to it later, Penn Entertainment running 16.33 here on my side chart, but we can't get to that at the moment because we got to get to this. And it's the lesson of the day, baby. So we're talking about futures trading, and we have been all week. Today, we're going to talk about the implied balance high and the implied balance low. If you've been a viewer for a little while, you know that Dan the Man Emmons, a futures trader in the chat, often talks about this particular thing over here. So we're going to get a little nuance with it and give everybody a quick 411. So this lesson dives into the concept of the implied balance high, which we're going to have a short term for called IBH, and the implied balance low, IBL, of the opening range in intraday futures trading. We'll explore what they are, how to identify them, and how to use them to make informed trading decisions throughout the trading day. So let's get right to it. So what are implied balances high and implied balances low, IBH and IBL? So the opening range of a futures contract represents the initial buying and the initial selling pressure at the market open. The IBH and the IBL are technically not price points, but rather zones that represent the potential areas of support and resistance based on the opening activity. So the implied balance high, this is the highest price essentially reached within the first hour. So the highest price reached within the first hour after the open, suggesting what the initial buying interest was. Conversely, the IBL, the implied balance low, is the lowest price reached within the first hour after the open, which is suggesting to you the nature or the intensity or whatever of the initial selling interest. Okay, so that's just in a nutshell, that's what they are. How do you identify them though? right? Identifying the IBH and the IBL on the chart. So the first thing you're doing here is you want to focus on your time frame. Focus on a shorter term time frame, so you're not looking at the daily or the weekly. Rather, you're looking at the 15 or the 30. You can even do less, but that's what is being suggested here. Look at it from the 15-minute time frame. You'll be able to have, you know, that 1 hour within 4 candles rather than having it in 12 on the 5, okay? The opening range as well. You're identifying here the high and the low price within that first hour. So that's what you're restricting yourself to, that first hour of trading. And then for the IBH, it's quite simple. You're looking for the highest price tick within that range. So within the first hour, what is the highest tick there, even if it was super fleeting? That is your IBH zone. It's not a specific price, guys. It's a zone. The IBL, very similar, right? You're looking for the lowest price tick within that range, and that is your IBL zone, your implied balance low, okay? So how do you trade with IBH and IBL? What are you supposed to do with this stuff? So these zones, they act as potential turning points throughout the trading day. Here are some scenarios. The first one is a potential breakout through that zone. So if the price decisively breaks above that IBH, it's suggesting bullish concentration. And so what you should be looking for in this case is increased buying volume to confirm. Conversely, if a break of the IBL, the implied balance low, with it rising volume will suggest to you a bearish continuation. And I didn't load my Unity, so I know that maybe some people are talking to me here, and I have no idea. So we're going to load that for a sec. There we go. So that is the first scenario, that breakout scenario. But how about a scenario where there's a retest, where you bounce off that level or reject off that level? That's what we're going to talk about here. So the price might retrace to that IBL or that IBH before continuing and turning around in the direction from which it came. Observe if the price finds support at the IBL, which is a potential long entry, or resistance at the IBH, which is a potential short entry. You're looking for volume confirmation, though, on the retest for both those scenarios. And so with respect to price action, what are you supposed to be looking at with respect to price action in order to make to have that better confirmation? So the first thing is price action. You're looking for strong price rejections. What does that mean? You're looking for candlesticks, for example, with an upper long wick, like a topping tail candle. We often hear Adair and I talk about topping tail and bottoming tail candles at key areas of support and resistance. That's that next confirmatory indicator that you're throwing there. You already know the price bounced off that level. That's not, that's not new. What you're looking for there is something else to tell you, okay, this is a real rejection at this level. It's not just gonna bounce off, superficially and then continue down. So in this case, you're looking for a candlestick with long upper or lower wicks at the IBH or the IBL zones for more that are more significant than just a weak touch, for example. And volume, you're looking for increased volume on a breakout or breakdown from the IBH or the IBL zones, which helps strengthen the signal. Conversely, low volume breakouts or low volume breakdowns should be looked at with a degree of suspicion. And some important considerations to take into account here when you're using IBH and IBL. They are not foolproof indicators by any means and should be used in conjunction with other technical indicators or other technical analysis tools. And the market conditions here, they play a strong role. In stronger trending markets, breakouts become more reliable. When the market's more consolidative, breakouts have higher failure rates. You need to be cognizant of the market conditions. And you have to know that these zones are dynamic. As the trading day progresses, the opens influences weakens. So the IBL and the IBH zones, they play less of an important role as the day goes on and as other price zones develop over time, guys. And remember, this is just a basic framework. Practice identifying IBH and IBL on the charts and test different trading strategies in a simulated environment, guys, before you ever use real capital. That's what I would say to you on that. And I know that there is time for an ad read here, so I'm trying to find it. I don't know where it went. So I'll send it to you for a second.
Yes, I am running to the downside with Nike here. Thank you again to Coppernet for mentioning this one. I am getting a little bit squeamish in this trade, and I only say that because look at this 90 MA bounce on a wick basis. This is the type of thing that gives me the willies if I'm in a short. but I want to stay in the trade because I do think there is still some potential here, and I have no reason to leave until we break above that 93, 94 area. It looks like Donald Trump press conference has ended. It was just kind of his POV and recap of all of what was going on with the courts. Also, if you want to have a POV and recap of markets and how to obtain both freedom and wealth, please check out our podcast. It's called Freedom and Wealth. It has this man right here, Sean Katina. It has Brendan over here. And we already have 517 subscribers. So if you want to join those ranks, you want to step up, be a subscriber, definitely become, get into Freedom and Wealth weekly episodes starting on tomorrow, Saturday at 10 a.m. So that's how you could achieve some freedom and some wealth, which I think are both things we love over here.
Oh, yeah.
But we also love sponsors.
Absolutely. We are brought to you by American Airs, trading in the USA under symbol AAIRF, and in Canada under the symbol Wi-Fi, WIFI. This company just announced a knockout punch, a global marketing partnership with the UFC, hence Dana White on the screen. Airs Tech is dedicated to bringing the gap between bridging the gap between technology and wellness. Airs Tech's mission is to provide cutting-edge solutions that protect against electromagnetic radiation without disrupting everyday use of technology. This innovative company has seen consistent revenue growth and boasts several high-profile customers like Kim Kardashian and Russell Brand. So invest in American Airs today. On the OTC, it is AAIRF, and then on the CSE, it is WIFI. Shout out to them. Hope that they do well. All right, let's have a look here at said Donald John Trump. So after that, after he drops hot lines there on his press conference, nothing really changes with respect to the range. I would submit to you that we're still locked within that dollar range, 49-ish to the downside, 50-ish, and I'm saying ish here on purpose because, well, we've broken it before. We've definitely got into that 48.5, but it looks as if as the day is progressing, the range is getting a little bit tighter. So whereas it was maybe $1.50 worth of range earlier, now I feel like it's tightening up into that dollar range. We'll have to wait and see whether or not this one can reclaim that 50 as that key area of resistance. Now, before we have a look and see how well Adara did on her Nike trade, I just want to mention to you guys that these are the small cap gappers, and they're not, all of them are not small cap gappers, but these are the side chart names that I'm looking at. NVOS at that $1 at VWAP. It has been absolutely respecting the volume weighted average price on the day. Every single dip into the volume weighted average price has been bought up. You have had wicks that have broken below, but look at the closing prints, all north of the volume weighted average price, and it's definitely trying to stay above $1 with $1.26 as the high. So I'm keeping eyes, or whatever, tabs, on NVOS. I didn't give you the deets on this monster. Let me give said deets at the moment. So NVOS is a $19.5 million market cap. It's done 217 million shares on the day, and it has a float of 17.5 million shares, which is good because it's not too big and it's not too small. Let's bring down trade ideas here and shout out the NOS boss and his crew and see what the short float, if any. So about 3.5, a little bit less than 3.5% of said 17.5 million shares is floated. So keep tabs on that. BNAI, the other one that I've got tabs on, but this one is doing that rounded top. Sorry, Kyle, it's not the rounded bottom. It's a rounded top here, 409 HOD. Definitely had trouble with 4, and now it is below the volume weighted average price, which on my chart's hanging out at 3 2/3. This one is not tradable on my system until it can reclaim said VWAP area. The other one, MULN, yes, Mullen is back in focus, and it's above $1 and doing really well on the day. This one has had multiple dalliances. It's had dalliances with the 10 EMA and volume weighted average price. I would say look for a deeper retracement to VWAP. The more shallow retracements seem to be coming in on the 10. It's putting in a rounded bottom right now, Kyle, so I don't know if you like this one. Good rounded bottom here, looking to go into that 4 2/3. Good look for MULN. Couple of more here before we send back to Dara. PENN. I prefaced this one earlier because we were bringing you that headline with Caesars. Penn Gaming here, owned by Portnoy and his crew, having a real good day. And I don't even know what the headline is on this. I'm sure Dara knows.
There was an activist investor interest.
There you go. You told me about that. And there it is right here. What's going on with Penn Entertainment Stock Friday? The company's shareholder, Don Orelli Group, sent a letter to the company's board saying that the company could get up to double its current trading price in the event of a sale. We all know that he can't make money on the sale of this. I guess he can make money through revenue generation and profits, but sale, I think ABC is going to hold the bag on that anyway. So keep an eye on Penn Gaming, having a real good look here with the 10-period EMA. And then the last but not least, Go EV. I had this one up. It was moving nicely. Got to that 250, but since then, broken down now a little bit above 2.25, below VWAP, not tradable on my system.
Go EV, go EV, go. Go EV. Yeah, sorry. Okay. I will stop now. But this Tesla, I like the idea of this short at 175.50, and Tesla was like, yeah, Dara, I'm not going to give you that in a clean way or a way that you like. I feel like Tesla could curl, so I'm staying away from the short right now. Why do I think it could curl? As I just was about to go short. Well, it's because I don't love this bottom of 175.30 that we had this little chop and turn here at 11.05. Now we're wicking into that. I think this could be, as Sharif sometimes want to say, a change in tides for Tesla. So I do not want to be part of that monsoon. I don't want to mess up my hair in all that weather. No, thank you. I am in a short. That short is Nike. Again, shout out to Big Kyle Burdett for mentioning this one to me in the chat. I am still in this name. I'm very proud of myself for not panic selling when we got back to my point of entry, because it was like, Dara, we haven't gotten to the area you want to leave yet. Breathe. Zen. You're only risking 6 pennies, and you want minimum 24. So be realistic and just breathe. So I was and I am, and right now we're about 10 pennies away from my first area of profit-taking interest. That is going to be this big old area of previous chop and turn at 93.65. Then I want pieces or dreams. I'm not sure where that dream will die right now. I am interested in this area around VWAP at 45s, and then of course, if we could get 93s, chef's kiss, that'd be great. Also, the other thing that I'm short, that I took short earlier that I'm still looking at, is going to be Meta. Why am I not immediately jumping into this Meta range short? Because we have higher lows, and I don't trust Meta at the best of times. Getting into this short, which I thought was much cleaner, was still kind of dicey for me. And Meta with higher lows on a short, I just need to see a prettier setup for that. Meta's spread is also getting scarier, in the 30-cent range. So Meta, right now I'm going to have to say, forget it.
Forget it.
Until you get to a spread that's a little bit better. I also want to take a quick look at NVIDIA for Mildred Collado saying that she's short. I think that's I honestly think this is a nice short look. Look at all these kind of failed wicks here up into 1096s, 1098s. We're continuing to the downside. I don't mind this look at all. I would say be cautious of this area we keep bouncing off of around that 1088s, and then kind of into 1087s, even lower into 1084. So just be aware of this previous area support and resistance. But man, this 9 EMA rejection and baby double top at 1096, not a bad look at all. Best of luck to you in that trade. Nike, whoa, run to the downside. Run to my profit-taking area. Run, run, run. How are you doing?
Good. Not in anything yet. I was just answering day trader cut. We were looking at possible 190 break on AAPL. What a move down on Apple, 192.5, and we put in a hell of a top there, but it's been downward since that time. Quite frankly, though, Apple is the best performing Mag 7 name on the day. Yeah, it's down 0.5%. NVIDIA down 1.25%, Tesla 1.85%, Amazon almost 2 2/3, Goggles at 1.1 to 1.1-ish, Microsoft almost 2, Meta 2 1/3, Netflix 2 3/4. So AAPL definitely the better performing Mag 7 name on the day. I would have been looking for a 190 touch but it got all the way down into 190.10. I wasn't ready for that, to be quite honest with you. Anyway, it looks like it's going to be a short kind of day. So what I'm going to be looking to do is to short off the 10 or the 20 on one of these Mag 7 names. We see NVIDIA kind of doing that right now. It had a bit of a dalliance here with the 10, now curling right back down below that 1090 into the 10 high 8s. Right now. Good look for the shorts on NVDA, but I want to mention this new one, small cap gapper, that just showed up on my watch list over here, 27, almost 28% PIK. I don't know what this is. I kind of don't care. Kid Pick, online clothing subscription box for kids. Okay.
They've run before.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even remember them. $8.3 million market cap, 1 2/3 million shares, sub 500,000 float. It has 325,000 share float. That is what my platform is showing me. Let me verify that with Trade Ideas, because that will be like Chinese small cap gapper-esque. So Trade Ideas is saying 1.7. My platform is saying 3.25. And the short float on whatever is about 1.8%. So let's keep an eye on pick. I don't really anticipate it to be the big monster. A couple of topping tail candles there through 485, now down into 4 1/3. So I'll keep eyes on that. Let's see what else. Oh, I wanted to mention to you guys, every day now we have a new segment. You'll recall it starts at 2 to 2:20, and it no longer involves the big desk. It is now myself at the green screen and the big kahunas to my right taking charge there. And you're going to be able to have your say every day and let them know what you want covered in terms of trade, review. So go ahead in the chat right now, go in and type !join space $, and put in the ticker that you want analyzed on the day. You can vote all the way up to 150, and we'll remind you multiple times. So yeah, we will. And we'll remind you about other stuff as well. Apple coming down back into that 190.10. If that comes down into that 190, I'm going to be looking for a possible along on the dead one.
Yeah, I mean, I want to blast some Frank Ocean here right now, because right now I'm just into Nike. I want to, shout out to Frank Ocean Nikes. But this trade, I have no complaints about this trade. I will say initially I got very frustrated because we literally wicked into my area of exit and was like, Nike ran away. It was like, actually, I'm good. I have other places to be. I'm like, hey, you don't, but okay, no, I'm joking. It's all good. I might add if we bounce back off 75s again, because I have no problem with that. I'm still in the position. I did take out half here. Again, I want to shout out Coppernet for mentioning this trade to me. I am pleased as punch with this trade. Also, I have a trade that I did not mention for some reason that I want to talk about. It was it wasn't a loser, it was a winner. I just forgot to mention it. This SPY trade, pleased as punch about it. Took about 10 pennies. Was really just trying to scalp here off that 520.50 rejection. Obviously could have held it, but I have made an intentional effort, and I mentioned this before. I don't hold trades on the SPY. If I'm in the SPY, it's scalp, and I was trying to think of a rhyme. It's scalp and leave. I don't know if I think of a rhyme, I'll let you guys know. You know I will. But basically, I was happy with this. Took 10 pennies. Should have taken it with more shares. That was really the issue here. But Nike bouncing off that area. Happy I took some profit where I did. And also Nike, I'm ready to add to that short position. Don't you act like you're all innocent now. Like you're all out of the clear. Like, oh no. So the SPY just took a nice little move to the downside. So good look for that. The SPY is spying newer lows.
Oh.
As Opie will sometimes say, the itsy bitsy spider climbing down the spout now.
Oh.
We're not climbing up the spout on that. But Meta continuing to range. I stand by not taking this short again. The spread was gross, and we did have a higher low at the time. But I mean, Meta, if you wanted to keep doing this, I'm taking you short. I'll stop laughing in a maniacal way. And you've had such good trades on DJT all day today. So, I mean, how are you doing with Mr. DJ Trump?
We're playing the range that we talked about there. We're getting it mid-range because we were yapping up a storm, and we're able to get it in at the whole $49 level. That is the range that I see, guys. I see 49 to the downside and 50 to the high side, and we're going to play that until it doesn't work. So, again, I'm in the sim today, hopefully the last day in the simulator. Having written my compliance exam yesterday, apparently it takes 48 hours to process. So we hopefully will be live again on Monday. Here's the look now. Apple is putting in bottoming tail candles, okay? And so this is kind of the thing we were saying to look for at key areas of the IB high and low, these kind of candles here. You know, it's only 2 candles and this one hasn't even closed. So I'm making just an observation as to what I see at the moment. Doesn't mean it's going to end up closing that way. If Apple keeps doing this and I see multiple bottoming tail candles, I'm punching long to defend that 190 level. I also like it because it's the strongest name on the day. We have WWDC. Is it next week or the week after?
That's June 10th.
June 10th, thank you, yeah. So we got WWDC, and if you don't know, this is the event, widely speculated, and that's all that it is, speculation, that this will be when Apple kind of really tips their hand and shows what kind of AI they got brewing at that, where they work out of again?
Cupertino.
Cupertino, California. In Cupertino, that big circular building that they've got over there. So that's what we're going to hear from them, hopefully, in I don't know, less than 10 days, I guess. Or in 10 days from tomorrow. Also, that September event as well, that they always have their launch, their product launch event. So that's what I'll be looking for next week as well as September. And so, you know, because of that tailwind, I anticipate Apple will be a bit stronger there, Ram. Anyway, so still in Donald John Trump, looking to play the range. That is my look for this at the moment. I see Apple's putting in a whole bunch of top bottoming tail candles. So I'm going to flip to Apple here once I send it to Adara to figure out exactly where I'm going to get my trade in. Oh, there's a couple of super chats. So big. Oh, this one's for you, Adara. You got to take this.
Adara, one does not climb down. They jump it. Or they quadunk. So, yeah, thank you so much, Kyle, for that $10 super chat. And you're right. Like, you know, if I'm going to talk about something moving to the downside, we got to use that aggression, that viciousness that the market often uses. Also, Nike, I was like, I just decided, you know, I saw it go to 77s. I said, okay, Nike, I'll add in 77s. And then Nike ran away from that level so fast, I could not breathe. To be clear, I'm happy with that. I mean, I'm still in the short. Like, I'm not going to be upset it didn't give me my point of entry. But I would have liked to have added to this position. I still have the area there. I'm okay with it. But yeah, Nike really needs to break below the 65 with the viciousness. Like, oh boy. Oh boy. There is something distinctly different happening in this chop and turn. Nike is obsessed with this level, and I would like him to become less obsessed with this level so I can trade other things. Also, shout out to Jay Haas, who is, you know, going back and forth with me about some Frank Ocean there in the chat. Yeah, that does give me some nostalgia. Ultra, put it that way. Shout out to the Frank Ocean fans in the chat. But nice look there. Let's go, market. Let's go. Here we go, market. Here we go. Yeah, I'll just clap there. Nice look. AMD is a name that I find, for whatever reason, I struggle to read so much. Like for me, you know, a lot of these stocks, I'm like, you know, they're in English, they're in languages I can understand. Maybe they're in like French or a little bit of Norwegian, but AMD is in like Swahili or Portuguese. AMD is, for me, somehow in a language I'm never able to read appropriately. That being said, to me, this looks like a short. So I do want to take this small position, small to AMD size. As someone once said in the chat, something I wholeheartedly agree with, AMD can and has been a widowmaker. So I want to be cognizant of that. We're risking into 45s, 50s. I really just want to take this breakdown because I do think that little rejection here of that previous level is spicy to me. I generally find I am a bit short biased as a person and as a trader. And I mean, the market's giving you that in spades, so I may as well try to play that to my advantage. Hello, people who want freedom and wealth, who hopefully is everyone here. You should subscribe and take a look at the Freedom and Wealth podcast. It is our podcast here on Trader TV Live. These are going to be weekly episodes, and the first one drops tomorrow at 10 a.m. Sean, Brendan, freedom, wealth. What more could you ask for? Two great combos. Tasting great together. Don't know what I'm saying. I'll stop acting like an Oreo ad or like a Ritz crackers ad. How are you doing?
No, guys, seriously, though, there is a lot of work being done for this podcast. I really can't stress that enough, and I'm not making it up. I see it every day firsthand, the amount of work those two are putting in, and not just those two. There's like a whole bunch of people that are really focusing on this, so we'd love your support. Obviously, the only reason we do it is for you guys. We're not listening to it ourselves after we record it, so that's the look. Yeah, thank you. So it's covered right now because being painted. Mark was painting up a storm in there today, so all the equipment is covered. But let me tell you, man, it is one advanced looking field in there. I go in there just to see what the Chilean Nightmare and what Mark are up to, because every time I go in there, there's something new. So shout out to Brendan, shout out to Sean for Freedom and Wealth. It's the biggest launch we've had here in a while, and we're very excited about it, and we'd love for you guys to be supportive of that as well. So if you want to subscribe because you like it, go right ahead. Long Apple at this level. Let's see what the dead one does over here. I like the bottoming tail candles, hammer candles, whatever you want to call them, at this level. I get stopped out, come what may, but I like what I see on the chart and I'm going long. Donald John Trump, we've been in this. Now the range is getting tighter. Now I'm a little bit worried. We're about 20 pennies out of the money on this, and the range now is not making it up to 50. At least it didn't this time. My stop is already in place. It's through the decided break of 49. I'm giving it some room knowing that this one lacks a little liquidity and the spreads tend to be a bit tougher there. So I had that in mind, and I definitely accounted for that in my stop. But that doesn't really matter if it's not going to play the range. And right now, we're definitely having trouble with that range on Donald John Trump. Again, moving after his conviction from yesterday, widely anticipated that there would be, some sort of price action move here, whether he was found guilty or innocent. It didn't really matter. We knew that there was going to be movement. And that's why I had that yesterday. We had DJT on the side chart yesterday, anticipating that could be a jury verdict. Sucks for us that it came at around, what did it come, like early 5 o'clock, something like
Around
that?
5 o'clock.
Yeah, around 5 o'clock.
Exact time, right?
It was, yeah. I remember that's when I saw it. And yeah, so then it was obviously outside of regular market hours and we were already at home. All right, printing on Apple. Here we go. Breaking through 69s and looking for a possible 191 retracement. Initially, when I took this trade here, on that 190.50 dip, I was looking for a 191.25 retracement. Alas, the best we could do was a 191 retracement. So I'm less hopeful of that closing print coming in this time around. The reason I was earmarking 191.25 is because it was yesterday's close. So we'll keep an eye. AAPL, DJT, those are the ones I'm involved in. Big Kyle Burdett, Sharif, you and I are going to look so good when we do our episode in that studio. Shout out to you, Big Kyle. Big Kyle, he wants to make a trip with the fam, right?
Nice.
He wants to come. He wants to see the studio. He wants to visit everybody. Obviously, Big Kyle is more than welcome to come over and check out the place. So when he does that, we'll show you the podcasting studio as well. Big Kyle, shout out to you, my man.
Yeah, it's its own little studio. I get to record there as well for the week ahead, which you can check out on Sundays. So I have a lot of fun recording in there. I am always tripping over things. Fabian is always like, watch your step. Fabian is always like, Adara, don't step backward in the podcast room. So I am just tripping over myself, literally with excitement about the podcast room. Cannot wait for you guys all to see it. Also, Nike. I am staying in Nike. I am cautiously optimistic about Nike. I have no reason to leave yet. We're still hanging out around 82s. I don't love that bounce around 93, 65s. I did add back in though, because that first time we got to that 75 level back again, we rejected it with the viciousness. I said, okay, Adara, I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it. Shout out to Ariana Grande, 7 rings. But yeah, right now, actually I have to say, I'm shocked to say I'm 5 for 5 right now.
What?
On my trades. So we're out. Nike might actually take us out that, but thank you. Thank you so much. I feel like I kind of tend to trade at a different level or try to kick it into high gear after I have a rougher trading day. Yesterday was bad. The trades I was the most proud of were my 0 for 5 Tesla, lost at every one, but it was because I had management I liked and an approach I liked. So I said, Adara, take that and try to apply it less to a strategy that is shorting a stock on its way up. You know what I mean? So again, those Tesla trades, I had entries I liked, but I clearly was in a weird mindset for it, right? So you just gotta go in, you gotta get involved. And with that in mind, I wanna shout out AMD. AMD is a stock I have said I absolutely dislike trading. I don't know what it is. I usually don't have a good read on it, but I wanted to take this short. Happy I did, took 30 pennies.
Don't you always say it took an AM dump?
Yeah, I took an AM dump, and I'm happy I took an AM dump while I was in it short, because it loves taking AM dumps when I am short, or it loves AM discovering the upside when I'm short. That was not
I love it, yeah. That one was a little labored. I think the AM dump one was the best. And I actually kept reciting myself that like over the weekend. I'm like,
really?
Fabian just ran from the productions team to Neil's stream deck to hit that flushing thing. I love it. That's commitment, baby.
That's
Shout out
great
to
team.
the Chilean Nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
B. Davis, yo, my favorite peeps. I logged in just in time. I even have people from my job watching you guys now. LOL. I hope we made some money on those shorts. Adara, Sharif, and Bears versus Bulls. Shout out to B. Davis, baby. Thank you for, obviously promoting us to other people. Couldn't be more thankful to that. There's no you, there's no us, really, because we're not here to entertain ourselves. All right, let's get back into these trades. These topping tail candles or bottoming tail candles here. Sorry, Ram. On the 5-minute look, at least turning around now. So I'm going to pack my patience on this name. To be quite honest with you, I'm going to be looking to defend that 190 level on AAPL. So I will be really patient with this, and I will look to DCA closer to that 190 if it comes into 190. Right now, we're 10 pennies out of the money on this one as it puts in a topping tail candle. Funny, I love that. You get 2 bottoming tail candles followed by a topping tail candle. So bamboozlement central at the moment on AAPL. We are already wet our beak for some profits, but definitely have a few more profit takers there. Now I'm starting to worry more about this trade here on DJT as the range is starting to tighten up into a 50 penny range now. While it was $1, it was even wider than $1 earlier. It was about $1.50. Tightened up to $1. Now it's tightening up into 50 pennies, or has been at least since about 20 after the hour. So good, almost 25 minutes of a 50 penny range right now on DJT. That doesn't work for me since I took the long at the 50 penny range. So it's got to work out to $1 for me. Otherwise, I'm going to get stopped out on the break of 49. So we'll see exactly what happens here with Donald John Trump. Let's look at some of the small cap gappers that we've got on the side chart over here, see if anything is moving. MULN. This is the one that I keep looking at and I keep liking every time I see it. It really is respecting support at the 10 period on the 5. That is the solid green line. You can see every single closing print is above that 10 period moving average. What I always suggest you do if you have the ability and you want to trade off these moving averages is to be able to get a platform like mine where you can drag these buy orders. Like, look at it. See that blue line? That's the buy order. Can I make this thing thicker? Let's see if I can make it thicker. No, sadly I can't. That sucks. I can make the other lines thicker. Anyway, so if the moving average moves up, you drag your order up with it to account for the increase in the moving average there. Look at it. It's about 4 pennies off highs. It's high time we really start trading MULN. It's going on a trading screen.
It's actually 4 pennies off high time.
Someone's going high.
I like that. Also, it's really apt to use. Also, every time I see that animation, I notice something different.
What?
Like the monkey's eyes.
Oh yeah.
But also, I love that you use that animation because you had no idea I was about to pull up GME here.
No, I didn't.
So that was great timing. You really didn't, guys. So basically, GME. A couple people mentioning this. I have some thoughts on GME. And I don't know if people are going to love them. I do think we did have this bounce off the bottom here, right? Higher highs, higher lows. 21 has certainly done something for GME, let's put it that way. It does like that level. But look at this fierce rejection we had of VWAP. And guys, it's not just VWAP, it's also that level of support we had earlier in the pre that became resistance right after the open here around 950. Yep. I think there is still a little bit of resistance in the water for GameStop. There are certainly some sellers here that want the games to stop. That's my take on that. Also, if we do break above VWAP, I would watch out for what we do at 2260. Look at this beautiful little resistance support, flippity-floppity here at this level. So I think this could get a skosh interesting here for GameStop. Yeah, I don't want to rain on the longs parades here in GameStop. I do just want to be cognizant of the fact that we had that rejection at that previous area of support and resistance, which came into confluence with VWAP. Nike, just hanging out around my area of average entry. I don't have anything to say on that. There is one name, though. There's actually 2 names in the Mag 7 that I have kind of similar ideas about that I've traded neither of yet. One of them is Microsoft. Oh, Microsoft. You want me to short you? Microsoft, you want me to short you? Is that what you're saying?
Bro.
Look at 1, 2. Okay, I'm just kidding. I need to stop rapping. I love it. Yeah, Microsoft, I wanted to do it this earlier. Happy I didn't because it would just not have been the vibe. This is going to be a small position because Microsoft, Meta, and some of these Mag 7s I trade less. I'll take smaller positions, but like Meta. Yeah, Meta stressed me out because of the spread. Tesla, I'll take with more size. I'll take Apple with more size. But yeah, Microsoft and Meta and Amazon, I just feel like I have less experience with this. I call Sharif the Microsoft Whisperer because you've been able to trade that name so well lately. Like you have those levels, you have those things you like. I'm not really in tune with Microsoft. Like, we don't talk that much. So, yeah, we're kind of more of like an on and off type thing. But yeah, Microsoft, I don't think I'm going to get that, but I love the consistent rejection of the 90 MA and 407. Amazon, honestly, I might like even better with this 174.60. I'd love to take you both to prom, but if only one will take me, I'll take whoever will take.
Whoa, Adara. Okay, interesting. I like it.
Maybe that was a weird analogy. But I don't
It's all
love
good.
faith.
Hey, no judgment.
Appreciate that.
No judgment.
How are you doing?
Good. DJT is the range is really getting me in trouble here, and I'm about to get stopped out. So this was, hey man, we tried this trade, and here we go. So it does stop us out here. Bottom wick so far. That's a loser on Donald John Trump. So I was actually positive on this one earlier. Now we are break even on it. So yeah, that's what it is. You take a riskier name and you end up getting punched in the face. So Donald John Trump stops me out on the break of the range. So we'll have to wait and see if a trade on this one is possible in a different way. But right now, I'm going to have to let that one go. And I'm also in a little bit of trouble here with Apple. We are at the low end of the range. We haven't broken 190 yet at all. Actually, 190.08. Actually, we did make a new low a day because earlier it was 190.10. Now it's 190.08. We're still at above that 190 area. The futures is continuing to head down, and it's been lower highs, lower lows continuously here all morning on the future. And you know, if we break 18.3, I think the bottom comes off on Apple any day. So we're gonna have to exactly watch to see whether buyers are gonna step in at the 100-point level and help push this market up. I'm not entirely certain that Apple marches to the beat of the market's drum. There have been some, you know, independent tailwinds for this name, so it could end up running on its own, but that's never really a good combination when you're trying to trade Apple against the overall market, at least not in my estimation. So if I get stopped out of this, the stop's already in place through a decided break of 190. Hopefully we won't go 0 for 2 to start the day. Sim or not, baby. I would have taken the same trades in live. But that. Yeah, I want to do well no matter what. Yeah. So we'll look there for recovery on Apple. Right now back into the $0.25. So we're still 20 pennies out of the money on this name. Now, as you can see, this really hasn't respected the same type of moving average look as some of these other names over here. So we'll keep tabs on that. Let's go back into the daily movers. I've also set up a dip trade here on MULN to take it off the 5. I've set up my dip trade at 55s, but that's no longer valid because the 10 period's now at 56. And that's kind of why I was saying if you have a platform where you can kind of, you know, drag and drop your buy orders, it makes it, you know, exponentially more easy to to be able to actually trade off the moving average. Let's go have a look at MULN. So that's where I set up my dip trade at 45s. I'm going to move that up now to 47s. So we'll go ahead and, 57s, excuse me, not 47s, to account for the increase in the price there on MULN, or sorry, the increase in the moving average level. So keep tabs on that. What keeps looking like it might break down but doesn't really end up breaking down is Penn. I mean, it continually looks like it's gonna put in a bit of a top, like right here, 1750, comes all the way down to 17, closing print above the 10. So this one is showing you its propensity to continue to run. I think if I was to be able to get in here and I put my line in the stand below 17, I think that would make a sound stop. That's exactly what I'm gonna go ahead and do. So let's take out DJT. Penn's on New York, right?
It is.
It's not.
No, sorry.
Crap. I know. I got that wrong too. All right. So let's go ahead and get into Penn at the moment, and I'm going to put my stop on the other side of 17.
Hopefully you get accepted to Penn State University there. Nice.
Is that Ivy League? No, right?
It is. UPenn is Ivy.
UPenn is Ivy League. That's it.
Ivies are like UPenn, Dartmouth, Harvard, Yale, Columbia, Brown. I might have missed one.
Okay.
Yeah, if you watch enough like teen dramas in the mid-2000s, you get to know them all because everybody in those shows was going to every Ivy under the sun. And Remy clearly understands my life.
What's going on there, Ram?
Shout out there. Also, Microsoft, I gotta say it's killing me softly with this chart. But yeah, I mean, I really want it. Okay, we just got out, so I think I rescind my comments. You're not killing me, softy. I took 15 pennies. Initially, I wanted into 406.20s, realized I wasn't gonna get that, scalped it out. Happy with that, please just punch. Nike is, I don't wanna say it's becoming a problem. I'm still up on the name. Well, actually, no, sorry, I'm up on the name in total with the profit I already took, but I'm currently down on this position a little bit, but I don't want to panic sell and get out. I would love to see the continued rejection of 93.85. If we make any kind of higher high here, up above where I initially started the position into 90s,
18.3.
That's gonna have to be the out part.
18.3.
18.3
Yeah.
on the NQs. But yeah, I think there's a couple of names I want to take a look at. We're gonna call this a chip chat. We're going to talk about chips. We're going to have a chat about chips because people in the chat want to chat about chips.
Ooh.
I will stop saying the words chat and chips right now.
Okay.
Someone was asking about Intel. Okay, I like that. Sharif's like, always so supportive of my weird puns up in here. I love it. People are asking about Intel. Intel and VWAP, not besties. Just no. I mean, like, they keep wanting to hang out, and then Intel gets to the gate, and it's like, I'm too scared. I need to go home. Like, look at this. We bounce here 3018. Actually, I'm good. We try again once, 3016. We wick up above, mind you. But Intel, on a closing basis, hates VWAP.
Oh.
It is bad. It is not a good look. We keep rejecting here. So I think this has been kind of an interesting look. Persistible saying likes to chip chat. It's a good one. Shout out to you. But yeah, I think Intel right now, as I say that, we're trying to bounce and build up for a VWAP rejection again. And when I say VWAP rejection, I actually think because of all these rejections earlier, if we do break above VWAP, that could be a really nice look. But I say if. We need to see that VWAP break for us to have any kind of conversation about what that would look like. What else is happening right now? Another chip that we can chat about is AMD. Look at this AMD. Wow, I should have taken that short again once we had that opportunity to get back to my area. Really proud of this area here around 167.30s. That short worked out okay. We come back and AMD is like, yeah, I still don't like this level, guys. I don't know what you expected. I will be going down again. So AMD, I mean, if you want to come to this previous level here, that 161.70s, 161.80s, I'll short you again, that's fine. Wong family is doing as what Wong family in the chat was saying NVIDIA, coiling like a snake, to paraphrase. And yeah, there's certainly been a lot of chop and churn here on NVIDIA. Shout out to Mildred Colano. Don't know if you're still in the chat or if you're still short this name. I know you mentioned earlier you were short NVIDIA, and I mean, I have to shout you out for that because that double top here at 1096, great look. Chip chat over. Back to me staring at Nike like a nervous Nelly.
I like it. We're doing well here on PENN, P-E-N-N. The Portnoy name is, getting a nice bump up there on possible activist investor, investment. So we'll see if this one can continue. It's a send up, 18.25, nothing to sneeze at the moment. 3 beak wetters, 2 set up more. Now, I see people excited about this Apple bounce back, guys, but I got to tell you, I'm involved in the name as well. Sim or not, I still care, and it's in the long-term portfolio as well. But I got to tell you, this nice little bounce back here is still south of the 10. And look what happened when we got into the 10 at 20 to the hour. Rejection. So the 10 is looking like it's going to be a line in the sand here as a level of resistance on the dead one. We'll see if it can break through that, maybe make a retracement into the 20. I'm long 44s, break even at the moment on AAPL. If it can also put it in a rounded bottom so that Kyle Burdett, would like that, I would also like that as well because that would mean higher highs and higher lows, and that would mean that I could profit on this one. So we'll see exactly what we get, but right now it is definitely still below that $half level and having trouble with the 10-period exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart. And it has all morning. So essentially, since dumping there, not all morning, at 10:50 just before the show, it had been very consolidative, as you can see in the morning, using yesterday's closing print at 191.25 as support and using resistance level 1 on pivots as its level there in the sand. It was well above yesterday's high and above the previous day's high. So I don't want to use these levels as the reason we retraced. It really does look like it either came off the $half level or resistance level 1 on pivots. That's what it seems like to me on AAPL. That's what we did in the morning. So we'll continue to watch that. Let's set up as well over here and see what we're doing on. Okay, so I'm long mullen here at this level. So this is my dip trade to get in a 10-period retracement on MULN. There we go. So we had this one at 56s. We get triggered and not in the other way. This is the look over here. MUL, keep an eye on this 450 area and then 440. This is what I'm going to be looking for. These two areas here. VWAP has featured on Mullen today. You saw that at 10:45 and again at 10:50, bounced there, as well as 10:10 and 10:15. All were VWAP bounces at that level. So I'm less inclined to want to use the 20 period on the 5 just because it hasn't featured. The 10 period clearly has featured here, and that's why I got the dip trade off it. If I'm looking for a stop out, it really should be based on VWAP and not the 20 period. Let's see what Mullen does.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to say to you guys that I did anything other than stare at Nike. like a lovelorn teenager across the hall at a prom. Don't know why I'm sticking with this analogy, but we already here, so let's keep going. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest, all I did was stare at Nike like a lovelorn teenager across the room at prom. That being said, I saw that 89 rejection. I was like, okay, Nike, you're still in the running. Accidental pun. You're still in the running. But yeah, so Nike, you're still happening here. I do want to see us break below that 82 because that was an interesting area. And then of course, if we break below 65s, like, you know, do your thing, 21. Also, let's take a look. Tesla, I was just about to be like, Tesla, you were short again? Tesla's like, clearly, girl, clearly, and you totally missed that. So Tesla very much moving to the downside. I'm gonna see if there's anything on this because Tesla not real, well, as I said, it's kind of recovering a little bit. But Tesla and the 90 MA, just rejection, 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 rejection. This has been quite the look. Apparently some short selling here in W. So let's see what way we fare in Wayfair.
Uh-oh.
Okay, this is interesting. Yeah, I mean, Wayfair actually up on the day, about 1.87, yeah, about 2%. We are at 1.27 million shares in volume, so not a bad volume look here for Wayfair. I'd like to see how we fare at VWAP, and then we'll know which way we might be going in Wayfair. But yeah, I think that bounce could be interesting. We did have a slightly lower high, mind you, from that 61 top, but we're gonna have to wait and see. Put the wait and see. Yes, yeah, that was bad. Also, I don't, like, you know, part of me is like, Adara, why do you keep avoiding this meta range? It's a gorgeous range. You played it earlier. The part of me is like, Adara, meta has a 25 penny spread. If meta gets less spready, then I better stop saying forgetta to meta and get her back in the trade.
Uh-oh.
And I will stop now. But also, you know what you shouldn't stop is joining and audience participating in our little segments that we have from 2 to 2:20 with the man to my right and his mustache.
Absolutely. Yeah, I threw the mustache in there. Guys, every day from 2 to 2:20, you get to have your say as to what the big kahunas discuss. So prior to that, it was me and Brendo at the big desk, and we were going through the morning rundown. No, that's not what's running in the afternoon. Now we want to hear what you want to say. So go in the chat, type in !join, space, $, put in the ticker of your choice. I know everything is kind of down and to the right today, but if you're that short biased person, throw that in there. Neil and Sean love to go short these names, so have your say every day now. From now until 1:50, you can vote, and then we talk about the names that you've chosen from 2 to 2:20 every day. All right, so Apple right back down. So as I suspected, it did reject off the 10 period, but it is still holding that 190 area. That is really going to be how I base my trade. It's going to have to hold this 190. Otherwise, that's going to be the end of it there. Microsoft, I just saw, made a newer low. The market is still above 18.3. There's a bit of a tug of war happening right now between shorts and, bears and bulls, and not the moderator, obviously, because we're a little bit above 18.3, a little bit below right now. So we'll see exactly what we get there. MULN coming into my area. It looks like it's going to be a bit of a deeper retracement into the volume weighted average price. And there we just got filled at VWAP. So now my line in the sand is going to be a decided break of the volume weighted average price. So let's go ahead and put that in there right now. I'd love to be able to see how many shares I have. Without having to go back on all these screens. Why does this remove? I never understand why this happens. All right, let's go back. Quick. We want to enter the stop. All right, so then we're going to put 430. And how much shareage is there? Yeah, perfect. Okay, so then now we're good to go on Mullen. Let's put the beak wetters with our average price at the $0.50. So let's sit at 60. And we'll see what we get there. Apple still holding that 190 level, bouncing right back into that third of a dollar. Nothing for me to do there. Penn, we wet our beak 3 times. It's still holding 17s. I put in a dip trade to defend 17s. It's not really getting filled at the moment. What are we? We're exactly 4 pennies out of the money on PENN. I'm looking for another retracement, possibly, or move up, not down, into that $17.50. Let's see if number 1, I get filled on my day trade. Number 2, whether we get filled at that 17.5. Nick Dub, can you look at AI and VFC? Sure.
VFC had news today.
All right.
VFC had some spicy news today. Do you know the
go
VFC
for it.
news?
No, I don't.
So Sun Cho, who was the former CPO, Chief Product Officer of Lululemon, left a couple weeks ago. The stock did not respond well to her leaving. Guess who is now the new global brand global brand director here at Vans? That's right, Sun Cho. She left Lululemon for Vans and VFC.
I like it.
So VFC was up like 10% on that. I guess Sun Cho was a hot commodity. But yeah, so I mean, nice look here. I guess hot like the sun there. I don't know for a hot commodity. But yeah,
After
nice
the bell,
look
I'm
for
assuming?
VFC.
This move here? Yeah, great look there. Let's look at the daily chart there on VFC. Let's find out what their look is. Yeah, so it's obviously a tough look for them as of late. Pandemic highs in the $90 range. And, you know, it's been multiple rejections off the 50, off the 200. So needless to say, a bit of a tougher look. So where are the resistance levels going to be? So now we're approaching that $14 level. I don't know, 15, kind of hard to see, or it's just so many peaks and troughs on the way down from that $90 level. So let's look here on an intraday basis. Yeah, interesting respect here for the 10 and the 20. I mean, I'd look to take it off one of those for continuation up. No real, you know, no real secret how I trade these momentum stocks. Look for a nice area of retracement and then get a better DCA. So that's what I'd be looking for there. Penn, which just got filled at 17s, so now I got to put in my stop.
Yeah. So yeah, there we go. We'll get, hopefully you're mulling over some profits next time we see you. But yeah, this Nike, I decided I'm going to get out at 77s. Now I know it was like Adara. I thought you said you wrote. I was like, no, I don't. This trade for myself, I feel like I'm going to be more comfortable if I just scalp out of this. I don't want to scalp out here. If we, like I said, we still break above 90s, I still get out. Like same rules, but I think if I just want to be able to take profit if I have that opportunity again. I don't know if I will at 75s. I don't know. I don't like this higher low here. Since that low we made at 65s, now we're seeing 75s. I want to shout out Kyle Burdett again for bringing this trade to me. Big Kyle Burdett, because I still like this short, but I want to play it a way that I'm cool with. I'm happy he took the profit earlier at 65s, and now I think I want to take that 75s. Should I get them? I'm not sure if I will. Like Meta, could you just be less spready? I would love it if you were less spready, because I don't feel comfortable taking a 20 penny spread on Meta right now. I'm going to be really honest with everyone. I do like that we still have that range happening and it's kind of continuing to go lower. I think we could have a breakdown, but I think I will have a breakdown trying to get involved in Meta, and I just don't think my breakdown is worth the joy of seeing Meta's breakdown. You know what I mean? You got to balance it out. So that's my look on that. What is everyone else looking at? Brad Gober was telling you AMD from 170 to 160 in like 2 hours. Yeah, this is, I just saw something I like here on this AMD. I don't think we'll get back to this level today. I think AMD is too far down in the AM dumps to be getting back up there. But look at this little pre-market, boop, boop, a little bit of a double bounce here. 174, 164.70. Now look, where we see that chop on turn. That's right, 164.70. Big move to the downside here in AMD. Had one short on this, a little disappointed I didn't short it again, but if we keep seeing this rejection here off 161.70, who says I won't? Not me. I could be interested in this again. But yeah, this AMD could be interesting. There's some levels I want to AM discover. What a look here for AMD. Thank you, Brad Gober, for mentioning this one. Brad Gober in the chat saying, let's get this bread. Indeed, let's. Whether you prefer rye bread, whether you prefer toast, whether you prefer white bread, whole grain, grilled cheese, whatever bread you fancy, there's something to tickle your fancy here in these markets. Also, Panera bread. Remain with the Panera. What about
How can you not be?
What about pita bread?
Yeah, I'm all about the pita. But the Adara Panera, I mean, like, how could you, come on. Like,
thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate
like
that.
I would have been all over that.
I do love
you,
that
right?
nickname. I have to say, Sharif is really good at nicknames. It's such a funny random nickname, but I do love the Adara Panera.
You kind of like say that again. I don't remember that. And Ram apparently is trying to take credit for that. If you did,
she giggled into our
maybe
microphone.
she put it in my mind or something like that. But
roll the tape.
Roll the tape. She doesn't even want to be on camera, Fabian. What tape, right? Like, that's the thing. No, kidding. Just defended Penn at 17. We'll have to see if 17 holds up here. We know that it was a level of resistance earlier, the rejection here, consolidation area here. We break it, we come back, defend 17 again. So it's gonna have to hold 17. Otherwise, I don't want any of the smoke, none whatsoever. So we'll see exactly what we get there. The other trade on the books right now, AAPL continuing to reject off the 10 period on the 5, but could the winds of change be coming? And the reason I say that is I'm starting to see incrementally higher lows. Now that could give us that rounded bottom sort of thing that we're looking for. At least I'm looking for because I'm long the name. Maybe others who are short don't want to see that. And yeah, I get that. But anyway, we're going to reject off the 10 period until we don't. We're below 18.3 as I see right now on the future, about 8 points below 18.290. High mid 8s. Apple, though, not really at lows at the moment. So if we continue within this range, I'm going to get stopped out. Or sorry, if we break the low end of the range, I will get stopped out on the Apple trade. So nothing really to report to you guys there. It's really a 190 defend and not much else to the trade. Back in the money on PENN, we were just up into 1730, but now the volatility is really starting to pick up. I haven't seen the volatility on PENN like this in maybe like about 20 minutes or so. We get into 1730. You can see that it met a wall of sellers at that level because it did a bit of a topping tail candle. Not a good look for the longs. However, the other side of that coin is it held 17. However, with higher lows, crest, and another crest, each successively lower than its predecessor. So that, maybe not a good look for the longs. We'll have to wait and see. MULN, what's this one up to? Still holding at the volume weighted average price. That was my plan, DCA into VWAP there. I'm looking to wet my beak there at 60s. We're long 51s. It's printing 51s, so we're absolutely break even on the name. This one and what's it called? Pen break even. It's the dead one that continues to reject off the 10 period. That should really be my trade here. It should be a rinse and repeat trade off the 10 period. But, you know, for whatever reason, I've just got this, you know, I don't know, fondness for taking this long and maybe having to sweat it out before I can actually print on the name. But this seems to be the trade. Short off the 10 period, Apple, rinse and repeat. I don't have it.
Yeah, that apple range is, that's a bit of a spicy. That's a caramel apple spice. Shout out to an old Starbucks drink over there. That looks like it's Tim cooking to the downside. Ooh. I could have a cup, or Tino, of that apple's tea. Okay. So we're gonna have to see how that goes. Let's see what happens there. Nike continuing to be like just having a moment in its life. I don't know if I'm gonna get that level I want. I wanted 77s, we got to 78s. I was like, Nike, really? Really, Nike? But yeah, I have no reason to leave this yet, so I'm just gonna be patient. At this point, we'll try 78s. I don't necessarily feel like a great need to exit the trade, but I do feel like at any moment things could change, just given how well we're weirdly holding 80s right now. So there's something I wanted to look at, and I totally forget what it was here. Oh, someone mentioned Lucy a while ago. I apologize that this was a little while ago, but someone was mentioning Lucy. Lucy right now, kind of just chilling. I have to tell you, I do like that we had this little scoopy bottom here twice. We bounced, I don't want to say rounded bottom, but we did bounce here off 86s. Now we're trying to form a little bit of a scoop at these 86 level, but we did reject here at 93, something to keep in mind. Another level I like here on Lucy is going to be that 95s. We had a bounce earlier, then we had that chop and turn before continuing to sell off. So Lucy, there's a lot to see here with Innovative Eyewear, which is the name of this company. What about gold, says Trader TJ. Not in that voice, maybe. I think I made it a little too Disney cartoon. But let's find out about gold. Let's look that up. Trader TJ, thank you for bringing that to our attention. GLD here, okay. We had a little bit of a sell-off. We come to 218, baby double top here on the 5-minute chart, and that's actually in the pre. And then the second the market opens, gold becomes a little bit of a bronze medalist here, selling off, rejecting off the 90 MA. Now that we're seeing a little bit of a top and turn. This could be a bit of a bear flag, but I do not want to diagnose a move before I see all of its symptoms. We could try to be pushed higher here as well. If you want to look at it another way, you could say, hey, Adara, we keep wicking down here into 215.30s. Now we're starting to see it curl back up. So it could be if we're to base at 218.30s. If we stay strong at 218.30s, and if we have a nice little push up here off 215.80s, that could be a nice look. I think we need to see something here in gold. And as I say that, gold's like, hey, Adara, I think I might want to push up. So nice look. Apple pushing here below 490, or 490, Apple 490, Apple 190.40, Apple 190, words. So yeah, Apple breaking down here a little bit at 190. Sharif made the sound that, like, I'm pretty sure Simba makes in Lion King when the dad lion falls off the thing. So I definitely have seen this movie recently. But yeah, Apple selling off a little bit at that 9. EMA. Shout out to you though, Day Trader Cut, but I have to say I'm sorry to Sharif
it's
for that.
okay.
But Nike!
Bang.
I got out Nike. Not a huge winner there, but please just punch it. I do want to shout out Cobberdet for bringing that name to me. Also, you know what I want to shout out?
What?
Bears versus Bulls shared something with Neil and I yesterday in the whole chat in the market recap, and it's that apparently Mustache was one of the top 5 tickers yesterday, no joke. Like it was actually...
How do we cover that? What are we supposed to do?
I mean, it wasn't in the rundown.
Did you see what someone wrote back when we were doing the measured move?
What did they?
They called it the measured mustache. Like, leave me alone.
Like I said, I'm sure you could chart a mustache. Like, you'd be like, support here.
I wanna, like, it's in its infancy right now, right? Like, it's super short. I can't manipulate it yet. We'll get to some funky stuff as the time goes on here. So give me some time to grow it out, guys. But you know what isn't growing at the moment? Apple's market cap, that's for dang sure. Back into 190. I'm really hesitant to get it out here. I am in the sim today, guys, just to let you know, where hopefully we'll be back live once I get my privileges back. I wrote the compliance exam yesterday, but apparently it takes some time to do. So I think that, you know, this is going to be the end of the trade here on Apple very soon. I've already got my stop. It hasn't triggered, but 18.3 is giving up big now. We're down into 18.273. So the market really looking for any reason to sell off here, guys. 700 points off the top that we printed at 19,000 not that long ago. 18.273 right now, LOD on the NQQ contract. Jay Lee, Sharif Adera, I told you to take some shorts on the TQQs. Would have been a $1 winner. Absolutely, Jay Lee. Shout out to you, my man. I didn't see your message, but I gotta tell you the truth. I was not looking short on the futures today. I really wasn't looking at the futures at all. I was trying to look at these small cappers as well as the Mag 7, but that should have given me the hint, right? This looks like a selling program here, guys. Unreal. Downside move on the NQ. I mean, hugging that 10 period. Whatever algo's been trading this, it's been doing real well for the shorts today. So I hope you guys are absolutely printing. Day Trader Cut, sorry brother, I had puts. LOL, no worries, man. That's just the way it works. Shout out to you. I hope you continue to print. Hopefully both of us can print. Mr. Long Shorts, SMMT push. Let's have a look at SMMT. No idea what this name is.
That was that thing yesterday where it had the little push up on that. Merck got merked, and Summit made a new Summit.
Yes. Remember, we made that pun yesterday. Yeah, I remember that. So nice move up there at around 1 o'clock. That's when it really started moving. HOD at that day, 12 3/4 closing prints, all south of 1150. Right now, we're still below the closing print on yesterday, which took us all the way into like just south of 11 bucks, like high 1090s. The IB high, not the IB high, the pre-market high there at 1012. We're still below 950, but good recovery off that dip there. So comes right into that institutional level low at 750 and then finds a whole bunch of buying coming into 9 1/4. I'll keep eyes on it. I have no qualms with that. Yeah, we'll keep looking at that. Apple right back into 190 1/4. You know, that 190 is going to be, there's going to be a lot of tug of war. I'm almost certain at that 190 level. Once you claim 190 on a closing basis on Apple, there's going to be some defending of it. So we'll have to continue to wait and see. Mullen back in the money on this one, looking to print at 460. Defending the volume weighted average price quite well, but still haven't wet my beak on any profits. We're printing 57s. I'm sitting at 60. The other one here, the other one that we're trading, Penn, nicely back in the money on this one. Look at the defending of 17. I'm quite ambitious with where I want to wet my beak because I took 3 beak wetters already, so I'm waiting at the third of $1 and then at 40, and then if we get up there, then we can start talking about the $0.50. But that 17 defend on PENN was quite good. Again, the reason we got into this one, it was an obvious level of resistance earlier on. We rejected it, we consolidated that, and then we retraced and defended it twice. So you know that there's something jiving here between Penn and 17. It's just a matter of how you play it. Let's see if we can get it.
Hopefully you can. Also, Darwin putting Stash USDT in the join. So unfortunately, Stash is not yet a US tethered coin. I've got to be honest there. But, you know, shout out to you, Darwin. Shout out to everybody in the chat. But yeah, if you do want to see a certain mustachioed co-host to my right on the green screen talk about a ticker of your choice, you just got to go !join space $, whatever ticker you want, preferably not a mustache and an actual ticker.
Yeah, please.
Please, because we need to have tickers to talk about, and we definitely could not talk about mustaches for 20 minutes.
And make
I mean,
sure.
we could, but you don't want that.
And Dara, they got to put a space. A lot of people weren't putting a space yesterday and it doesn't register, right? So you got to do that.
Space. Also, 4L Taz bringing up a stock I've not thought about in many moons, and it's Carvana. Also, I remember the really embarrassing day I realized that it was Carvana had the little halo in the logo because it was Nirvana. Sharif had to explain this to me. I was really confused. I was like, oh, it's got a halo. And Sharif's like, yeah, because he was so nice about it too. He's like, yeah, because it's Carvana. And I was like,
I'm always nice.
No, he's always nice. But I just said, like, the amount of
Except
patience.
to Ram. I'm not nice to Ram. Yeah. You know what she said to me
They go back and forth. Like, to be clear, it's pretty equal.
You know what she said to me today? She's like, it's my mid-year resolution to start being nice to people. I'm like, Brendel, get rid of her. No, I'm like, you can't have a nice Ram. We need Ram to be antagonistic, and she's got to be trolling at all times.
A bit much. I think trolling. I love the Ram trolling, but like when me and Fabian troll us in our ears, it's a great time. But yeah, Carvana not having as great of a time here. As 4L Taz said, indeed, Carvana is at 99. Look at this little double top here in the pre-market, and then Carvana has what I can only describe as a huadunk. This car drove off a highway, to the downside. We come back up to 101. Actually, no, we don't. We got back to the downside. Carvana, I mean, if you want to range and bounce here, somebody might look
how you're flirting with it. It's so funny.
I know, I get weird with the stocks, and I apologize. I do love these markets. I have so much fun trading these. And we also have fun with trying to ticker the trading turtle. I don't know, I just wanted to shout her out.
Hello.
So here she is.
Yeah, we haven't shouted it out.
Yeah, Carvana not really a trending ticker here, but like, Trenda, we've got other pals for you. What else are people looking at in the chat? FFIE on sale. Let's take a look at FFIE. Robbie V, closest stock I can get to mustache is MSTC. That's pretty good there. You're pretty darn close there, Robbie V. FFIE, yeah, definitely on a discount. Oh, FFIE, sorry guys for the gasping. FFIE, I find not what I would necessarily trade unless something like screamed at me, but I do find this level to be interesting here at 55.5. Look at this bounce we had, and look at this rejection we had with the wicking tail to match. Yeah, Faraday Future's future is not looking too bright. There's not faring too well today for Faraday. But yeah, this is an interesting look. Also, I think I might have left my Nike too early, but I'm not going to cry over spilled shares. I'm really proud of the trade I had. And like I said, I'm really proud of the trading I've done today in general. Right now, 6 for 6, which is, I have to say pretty happy with. And like, to be clear, I haven't taken any trades, not because I don't want to mess up my P&L. There's just not anything screaming at me right now to take it. I should have probably taken that Apple 190.30 short, but I didn't feel as good about it because if you see what Apple did leading up to this is why I got kind of nervous. Because look, we had this move up here into 190.30s, but we had so much top and turn. I was like, Adara, this could go either way.
But just rejecting off the 10 over and over and
yeah,
over.
Right?
And
so,
over.
But that's what I mean. I was like kind of worried with that bounce. I was like, we might not. But I mean, clearly Apple's like, Adara, you have nothing to worry about here. I will just keep rejecting Apple.
Clearly.
So I was like, okay, Apple, I understand. Next time you get to 190.20, next time you get to that 10, I will short you. Yeah, Sharif is definitely right on that. Gotta love Free Fall Friday, says Matt. How are you doing?
We're out of the money.
Penn's nice, though.
Yeah, Penn's nice. Penn's doing well. So we defended Penn, got 2 more outs there as it bounced back again into the $0.25 and the third of a dollar, sitting here at 35s and 40s for the next beak wetters. But, Apple is going to be the bane of my existence. There is still a whole lot of chopper and churn at this 190. There's an epic amount of or selling and buying at this level. Obviously owing to the fact that we're not breaking 190 decisively. So watch as I say that it tanks. So we'll see exactly what we get here. I'm just going to stay in this trade, see if we can defend that 190 level. If not, the stop's already in place for the break of 90s. I'm sitting there at 888s. The other one, Mullen, having one hell of a day today, but it looks as if maybe that aggressive ascent that it was on earlier might have stalled up a little bit though. Now, look, I'm not inclined to get out of this because there's a whole lot of defending here with Mullen at the volume weighted average price. So right now, VWAP's hanging out at 445. We are long on Mullen at 451, so 452 essentially, 451 and a half. You'll probably see it as 451. Okay, so $4.51. We're 1 penny in the money. It's printing 42s. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to print 60s and 70s. See if we can kind of curl back up. I'm encouraged by the bottoming tail candles in the VWAP. That means somebody sitting there at the volume weighted average price, buying up the shareage there and pushing it back above the $0.50. So I'm encouraged with this one, but I am also cognizant that the bottom could drop off at any time. I don't really want to call it a small cap gapper because I don't think it actually is in the strict sense. Let's find out what the market cap on this monster is. MULN, yeah, okay, 51.5 million. Yeah, definitely could qualify for a small cap gapper. So we'll see what that one does. BNAI just caught a bid there, breaking right above VWAP again. Last attempt on BNAI to break VWAP was a topping tail candle and a close below VWAP. This one, the first candle close above the volume weighted average price for the better part of an hour and 20 minutes here. The last print above there was 11:05, just at the top of the show. Let's see if this one can defend. I'm not going to trade this because it doesn't work on my system. I trade these above VWAP, and I need them to stay above VWAP, not a little bit above, a little bit below, and they zigzag. That's a range trade. You can do that. But my small cap gapping strategy is for breakout trades, not ranging trades. So we'll see if this one can kind of get its footing under it or what the situation is. Donald John Trump just found a bit of a bid there at 47.5-ish, 2/3-ish, pamping up all the way into 48.5. So we'll see if this one can catch a bid as well. Mullen doing bupkis at the moment. Apple right back into that $0.25, but I'm willing to bet you we reject real soon here to reject off the 10 period on the 5 like we've been doing all morning. We'll see what we get. And last but not least is this pen trade. Okay, so we did get the print at 30s. Happy about that. Waiting at 35s next, and then 40s on, what is this? PENN. Drops Family Garden. Don't see it on Mullen. Take the penny on and run. Look, I respect your opinion. I also respectfully disagree. I mean, if I end up being wrong, I end up being wrong. But what I see here, to be quite honest with you, is a defense of the volume-weighted average price. And that, to me, is made evident by the bottoming tail candles that come into VWAP. Bottoming tail candles are usually indicative of buying pressure, saying to the sellers, no, that's enough, and then pushing it right back up. Whether or not you get continuation through the level into 60s, which is where I'm sitting for a profit taker, an entirely different story. So I respect your opinion on Mullen. I'm just going to stay with the trade there. Let's see what else is being chatted about. Big Kyle Burdett. Sean did mutter something about today not being a free fall Friday. All I heard was free fall Friday. Big Kyle, you could not be any more right. This is the look at the NQ June contract. And as you can see, it is basically a love dance. The, I don't know, what is that love dance? What do they call it? Flamingo? What is that?
Flamenco?
Flamenco or whatever, yeah. This is it right here. Between the price action and the 10 period, there has not been a print above the 10 period since this candle over here, 9:50 a.m. The last time there was anything above the 10 period moving average right now on the NQ June contract. Let's go ahead, just one sec here, and see if we can have a look at Penn. So Penn back up into a third of a dollar, nothing to write about. Apple right back down to 190. So you can see this is an obvious range. I think the next time I get up, or we get up into that $0.25, I'll just flatten out for a loss. And that'll be a 20 some odd penny loss. So we'll see. Right now it's below 190 again. My stop is below that 189.90, hanging out at 88s. And so if I get stopped out, we get stopped out, and that'll be the end of the trade, Odera.
Yeah, Apple, I went to the bathroom, I come back, and I'm like, oh, I can't take the Apple range. But yeah, if it comes back again, I will be trying to take that. We have the SPY. I traded the SPY earlier. Clearly, one could argue I left that short early, but that was planned. I said my whole thing now, if I'm trading the SPY, it's scalp city. It is scalp city. We are going to be there for 2 seconds, no longer, no shorter, just right. I am Goldilocks, apparently, but no. All jokes aside, I like the SPY's kind of chopping and shorting here. also with Tesla, some of these names that have had a lot of weakness today, including the market in general, are giving you some spicy, they're giving you a little bit of spice, they're switching it up. Tesla, I was kind of interested to see if we would reject that 90 EMA. Very happy I didn't go short there because Tesla's like, reject what? I'm not reject, I'm Tesla. Come on, Adara. Yeah, levels I like. I still like that base chop and turn and breakdown at 175.25 earlier. We're about 35 pennies till we get there. If we get there, Tesla, if you reject there, it's on, I'm taking you short. Sorry guys, I know I'm not in anything right now. I'm just trying to find setups that I like. This Apple, I don't love these bottoming tail candles. That's the only thing. But if we do keep rejecting off the 90 EMA, and it's easy to just set your stop as like the next, yeah, okay, I do like this. Because then your stop is just if we make a higher high. So that's actually pretty clean. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna stop talking to myself about it and take a big old bite out of that juicy old apple. Come on, Apple, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. No,
make it happen.
Yeah, I don't know. So let's take a look here. Yeah, Jenny McFly, yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I am more bearish in general, so today's been a fun day for me, I gotta say. Yesterday I kept struggling because I am a little bit more bear leaning and I need to work on that. But I mean, yeah, like, if it's gonna give me shorts, I will, as Kyle Burnett often says, you know, take it to the downside. Dump it. Quadunk. I want to take advantage of those trades. So CRM, though, we're getting requests from Rip and Ron Pan. Yeah, let's see if CRM's ripping today, Ron. Let's take a look. Oh wow, is CRM ever ripping? Salesforce, more like buyer's force over here. Look at this. Yeah, this one not going Mark Benny off to the upside here. Look at this. We had this base here at 216, and we wait at this base. They make you wait for it. Look at this beautiful. Oh, this is the cleanest chart I've seen in a while. Chef's kiss, beautiful rejection here at 217.20. Look, oh my gosh. Then we see these bounces here on both a closing and a wick basis at 216. And then we go to the CR Moon to the upside here. Look at these bounce off the 90 EMA. Oh, I know I'm out of breath here, but this chart is leaving me breathless. I have no words. This is a great trade. Shout it to you, Rip and Ron Pan. Hopefully your P&L is ripping up here on CRM, Racks and Stacks. And Penn, how are you doing?
It's good. We took another beak wetter there, looking for a next one at 35s. It did come into 35, but the bid did cross, and so we didn't get printed. So we'll wait. We'll pack our patience and see if we can get, there we go, right back into 35. Can we print here, Mr. Penn? 18.5% to the good. Defended that 17 level, but that print not coming in. 35 is now acting as a local level of resistance. Apple still rejecting off that 10 period. It has been like that on almost every single Mag 7 name. Okay, this is the Mag 7, guys. Look at the meta. Reject everything off the green line. Same thing with Softy. Everything on the green line. Google, everything off the green line. Guys, I mean, this is, I haven't seen it this clean in a long time. And you haven't seen the Mag 7 move in tandem like this in a while. I made the point before, I don't remember when, but it was, you know, 2020, 2021, even parts of 2022. You'd see these all kind of look the same. Some would be up more than others, but the actual chart shapes and their patterns looked awfully similar. That has kind of not been the case as of late, right? They've been kind of marching to the beat of their own drum. NVIDIA has been, you know, looking a lot more like the NQ than any of the other 6. Today is really a kickback, like a way back playback almost into 2022, where all the charts look very much similar or have very much a similar look. And today, I just can't help but notice the umpteen amount of rejections off the 10 period on the 5 on all 7 names. And I'd include the future as well. Let's call it all 8 names here, Ram, because look at this. This is the NQ. Reject, 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 reject. All the way down. And so nothing is really changing there. Let's see exactly what we're doing on the other small cap gappers. We're doing well on Penn. We're doing well on Mullen. So nothing really to write home about there. It's this Apple trade, though, that is likely get us in some trouble at the moment. Break even on Mullen, in the money nicely on Penn. Let's see what else is moving. BNAI is going, guys. So I know I didn't want to trade this one because it was kind of a bamboozler, especially when it broke above VWAP and then used it as resistance. Now it looks like it's doing the other thing, the other way around now. And now the dance with $4, it looks like it might actually close above it for the first time. So we haven't had any prints close above $4 pre-market or otherwise today on BNAI, despite the fact this is the #1 gap leader on the day, up 60% in the good. There's a new high a day, 415. BNAI is going. Let me give you the deets on this one in case you forgot. $138 million market cap. The amount of shares is done on the day, 18.5 million, and the float, 7.7 million shares. Let's bring down trade ideas and shout out the NOS boss while we're at it and see what the short float is on this monster. And they don't have the short float. Come on, trade ideas, you can do better than that. But shout out to them. Sometimes a stock doesn't have the float there. So closing above the $4 mark and the high a day now, 420 at the moment. I'll look to defend 4 here. This would be interesting. If we close above here, I'm going to be looking to defend 4, owing to the fact that we definitely had resistance there. And now we closed above it. There it is, 4.25. Technically, the closing print on this candle. Now 430 HOD on BNAI. It is going, guys. There it is. 440 incoming, 437 now HOD. I'm going to be looking for something at 4 to get a dip trade. Call me frugal, call me whatever you want.
Crazy.
Call me crazy. But yeah, that's what I'll be looking for there. Penn, again, we're looking about 1 penny to get printed here. Let's load up. 1 penny. I know. I never think that way. That's kind of like your thing. BNAI, let's go ahead and put in that defend of 4. I'm going to sit at 405 because what is life without whimsy?
Yeah, let's shout out our lovely production team. Speaking of life without whimsy, live trading at Trader TV Live saying, why did the bid cross the road to get to the other side? Round of applause.
Ram, can you hit the crickets?
I like that joke.
It's her own joke. She's hitting the crickets on her own joke.
Oh, it's Fabian.
Oh, it's Fabian's? He doesn't want to admit it. He's like, I'm not involved right now.
Okay. Anyways, we enjoyed it regardless. Also, you know what does not need a GPS to tell where it's going to go next? Is GPS. Gap. Gapping to the upside.
Oh.
It's actually really funny. I was telling Sharif and Neil this morning. I was working on the watch list, and I wrote that gap. Like, I was like, you know, gapping up, and then I realized I was like, oh no, it's gapping up and it's gap. And I was like, I don't like to pun on the watch list, so I was very deeply concerned. Said to Sharif and Neil, I'm like, oh, this is so funny. I accidentally wrote
to put it.
up. And they were like, Adara, at this point, just keep it. You already wrote it. You have to do it now. And I said, that is true. It is gapping up. So that is, yeah, that was actually not an intentional pun on the watch list. In case you saw that and you were like, arr? Yeah, that's the story there. But congrats to you on Penn. You're making more than pennies on Penn. But GPS here, bouncing off this view, the 90 MA. I want to take a quick look at some of our earnings.
What's Gips doing?
Gips. Okay, GES. Not guess. There wasn't a lot of volume here in guess today. Guess we're just kind of trying to pop above this $22.63 level here with a little bit of a W pattern. I don't have much of a read here on guess. But I guess a lot of people aren't interested in because the volume is not where I guessed it would be on earnings. And I guess I'll have to stop that pun now. But look at Nordstrom. Nordstrom, more like Nordstrong here. Look at this VWAP bounce. We had this little, sorry guys, I know these puns are lame. We had a little bit of a bounce here earlier. Then we come back, bounce off VWAP with a viciousness. This looks like what Sharif would call that VWAP high of daybreak, that we didn't make a high of daybreak, we did bounce. Yeah. Actually, speaking of small caps, I actually have a question. Yeah. I would love your opinion on Lucy.
Oh, I remember you've been talking about this for a hot minute.
I've been obsessed with her. Like, I swear I'm stalking this stock. I'm stalking her. Okay, but here's my thing. So I know it's already like out of the books by your standards because no, we're not above high, VWAP, and we're below VWAP. But I kind of like this. Look at this kind of.
Can I make one thing before you go on?
Do.
So my VWAP rules and pre-market rules are for breakout trades.
Oh, that's true too.
Right? So if I'm going to take a small cap gap or breakout, then it has to be A, B, and C. But you can still range trade it however you want.
That's true.
Right?
I appreciate
yeah.
It. Yeah. So what I was going to say is I like that we're making higher lows and this flattish top here at 92. 30. 93? Around 93. It's pennies, guys. We're trying our best. But also look here, because it's also where we bounce around here in the pre. So I'm not saying I'm going to like punch and pray, but if I see this bounce, it might be hard for me to tear my eyes away from innovative eyewear. And in case you're thinking, hey, Dara's been kind of obsessed with this stock lately. Oh yeah, been a permanent resident of my side chart as of late. So be honest there. How are you doing on pen?
Good, good. We just printed at 40s again. Now I've got the beak wetter at 45s. Let's see what we can do here. Pen, beautiful 17 hold on the day. Apple is still above 19, but the range is getting a little bit tighter. I mean, I'm really lamenting not having flattened out like 10 or 15 pennies out of the money and then actually playing the range, because anybody who's been buying on 190 has printed. Maybe the amount that you've been printing is getting a little bit tighter and narrower and narrower and narrower because the moving average keeps coming lower. Therefore, the ceiling for the price keeps coming a little bit lower. And that's obviously reflected on here. You can see that we were ranging up into the 2/3 of a dollar, then we ranged into the half, then ranged into the 40s and a third. Every single time it's just a little bit lower than the last. That's what we call the lower highs and a flat bottom. And typically, I'm not going to say flat bottom break on Apple today, but this is basically what happens. Now, whether it's a Mag 7 name or a small cap gapper, it doesn't really matter. When you usually get compression patterns of this sort, it usually ends up leading one way. But there is one distinctly different feature. Shout out to the OBE, the one that can OBE. This is what I'm looking at here. And Adara pointed it out earlier. The bottoming tail candles on Apple are a little bit different than the candles that you're seeing on some of the other names that were curling down. So I'm trying to, maybe this is confirmation bias, but I'm looking for these buyers here eventually possibly to help curl it back up at least into, the 20 at least. Reject off the 20. You haven't had a 20 touch. So we'll see. I think this is more wishful thinking than anything else, especially because the likes of Tesla have started curling back up. The likes of NVIDIA have also started curling back up. Now, 1, 2, 3, 5-minute candles in a row. Green here on NVIDIA. 4 candles in a row on the Cybertruck. And then Meta's above the 20 right now. I know they're down more than Apple, so they could theoretically recover a little bit more. But Apple absolutely dead at this 190 level and has me in all sorts of trouble. So we'll see exactly what we get there. Mullen right back into my entry point here at 4.5. So we're going to have to make decisions here. Also, as Penn gets in a bit of a retracement off that 1745 back into 1740. Okay, so not much of a retracement, but we'll have to keep tabs on both these bad boys. But I think we have to restart the lesson of the day because it doesn't look like Neil's coming anytime soon. And so we're going to have to,
Anytime in the near future.
Oh, perfect, because we're talking about futures trading. So let's get right to it, baby. We're talking all week, and we have been all week, about futures today, the last day. We're going to finish it off by talking about the implied balance high and low. You've heard me and Adara talk about this range or this zone in the past. So this lesson dives into the concept of implied balance high, IBH for short, and the implied balance low, IBL for short, of the opening range in intraday futures trading. We'll explore what they are, how to identify them, and how to use them to make informed trading decisions throughout the trading day. So let's get right to it, baby. So what are the implied balance high and low? Like, what is this? What are we talking about? So the opening range of a futures contract represents the initial buying and the initial selling pressure at the market open. The IBH and the IBL are technically not price points in the strict sense, but rather zones that represent potential areas of support and resistance based on the opening activity. So the implied balance high, essentially what this is, the highest price reached, okay? The highest price reached within the first hour after the open, suggesting how high the initial buying pressure went. Conversely, the implied balance low, IBL, this is the lowest price reached within that first hour after the open, suggesting how deep the initial selling pressure was. So how do you identify these levels on the chart? So first off, with respect to your time frame, I would suggest to you a 15 or 30-minute time frame. And then for the opening range, you're identifying the high and low price within the first hour after the open. So for IBH, what you're going to do is you're going to look for the highest price tick within that 1 hour range. okay? This is going to be your IBH zone. It's not a specific price, though. It is a zone. The IBL, you're looking for the lowest price tick within that range, within that first hour range. This will be your implied balance low zone. So how do you trade with IBH and IBL? So these zones, they act as potential turning points throughout the day. Here are some scenarios that could manifest. The breakout, for example. If the price decisively breaks above the IBH, it's suggesting to you a bullish continuation. What you should be looking for in this case is increased buying volume to confirm that there will be a breakout there. Conversely, a break below the IBL, the implied balance low, with rising volume suggests a bearish continuation to the downside. But you don't always have to have a breakout or a breakdown. Sometimes, and oftentimes, in fact, price will retest. And that's what the second scenario here is. So the price might retrace towards that IBH or IBL before turning back and continuing in the original direction. Observe if the price finds support at the IBL, which is a potential long entry, or if it finds resistance at the IBH, which is obviously a potential short entry. Converse. So you're looking for volume confirmation on the retest for a stronger signal here on both the long and the short. So what should you be looking at with respect to price action? What should you be looking at with respect to volume characteristics? That's what we're going to talk about here. With respect to price action, you're looking for strong price action rejections. So you're looking for, like, at the IB high or at the IB low, you're looking for these candlesticks with long upper or lower wicks, like topping tail or bottoming tail candles, a hammer candle or an inverse hammer candle, maybe a couple of candles, maybe you look for some bullish engulfing. You're looking for something there to tip the scales in your favor to see, you know, is this going to be the way that it goes, or is it just going to continue down south? And the volume, you should be looking for increased volume on a breakout or a breakdown from the IBH or the IBL zones. That will help strengthen your signal. Conversely, though, if you have a breakout or breakdown with lower than average volume, you should be suspicious of that right away, because that could make for a false signal there, okay? And some important considerations that you need to account for: the IBH and the IBL zones are not foolproof indicators and should be used in conjunction with other technical analysis tools. And market conditions here play a large part in whether your trade is successful. For example, in strong trending markets, breakouts may be more reliable. However, in choppy markets, false signals become much more likely. You need to know what the market context is and then trade accordingly. And you need to also account for the fact that as we get away from the open, away from that 9:30 Eastern time slot, the open's influence weakens as we go on the day. So consider using higher time frames, example for the daily chart, for the longer term support and resistance. But if you're using intraday and you want to use those IB highs and lows to get a trade off, be cognizant of the fact that as we go out into the afternoon, those levels become much, much less important there.
Yes, they do indeed. And, but you know what really also is becoming, will never become less important is Neil's lesson of the day. Woo. Shout out to Neil, our lovely friend, Neil Roberts.
Today's delayed lesson of the day brought to you by Jeff Mendel and OTC. No, we had Jeff from OTC and he took us out to lunch. So that's why not doing it at 12. We just got back, had an absolutely delicious Montreal smoked meat sandwich, which was amazing just around the corner. So I'm all happy. But the lesson for today is sometimes you're going to find yourself, you know, you have a trade set up or you have a lot of different ideas out in the open, and then suddenly the market makes a big move. Either you miss a couple of trades here or there, or you've gotten out of the ones and you got your winners on, but you see a big exaggerated move that you can't find a place to join. So, you know, what do you do in that situation? Is it okay to sit on your hands, or no position is a position? What kind of trades can you put out there? I don't want to be buying the absolute top of a move, getting too close into lunchtime, or I don't want to be shorting the absolute bottom if I don't have any key levels left. So two things. One, it's always an option if you don't see any trades to not make any trades. But what you can pivot to, and if you're watching the morning show, a lot of what ended up happening for myself was just very, very quick, simplistic, in and out trades, because there was nothing with the overall trend that I wanted to join. So I'll give you the lay of the land here first off. We kind of had things in the right direction, but as I said, anyone watching the morning show knows, I got out of NVIDIA when I was adhering to the lesson of the day yesterday, which was try to observe what's happening since the open and not get too ingrained with initial movement. So we did have at 8:30 a move to the upside. That was the initial move in the market. NVIDIA came down. It got underneath that resistance level that was going to be the one we liked. I did make the short. When it put in this second wick bottom higher low, it looked a little bullish to me. I'm not going to lie to you. And we trailed out of it and never got back in. It then reestablished the downward trend, which I did join in one place in ARM to some success, but ultimately did not have any big short positions on and had to pivot to trying to do something else. So the first thing I did was look at what else is moving and then see if you can make trades off of that. Relative strength, relative weakness will help. And shout out to everyone in the chat who reminded us that there was something which was trending up, and the example is going to be C3AI. I wasn't fast enough when I saw a gimmick trade available up at the top to pay for locates and jump into a short. However, you had a stock that was clearly in play and clearly moving, breaking out the highs, strong when the market is weak, and all that happened is it got to a round number and there was a bunch of size on the offer. Now, what I would have done if I had paid for locates is quickly jump into like a 2 or 3 cent risk trade and then short it back into VWAP. It goes into VWAP, so I take the other approach. Look, it's a strong stock. I'm not trying to hit a home run on it. We're going to go for the bounce off VWAP. We're just going to take a quick long trade. Idea was to scalp some out and then hold a little bit higher, but a big seller emerged at 29.50, or at least flash size at 29.50. I just got out. It was a quick in and out. It's not like it's a free roll or anything, but it's just a simple trade that doesn't require me to predict where it's going to go for the rest of the day. You know, I waited for it to bounce in there. At the time, I only had a couple of positions on, so we took a shot at it. The other thing that I went for was, okay, like DJT. Well, I want to see this one make a bit of a bottom. This one doesn't end up working out. Not every one of these quick little hits is going to work for you. But I observed a stock with a wipeout bottom, higher lows as the market's going lower, so it might not care that we're trending to the downside, and I can't find many shorts that I like outside of ARM, missed Micron. But it made the breakout. I went for the break through 50. To me, it's either going to go and squeeze and we can hold it for a while, or it doesn't work right away. Obviously, it's a great out. Looks a heck of a lot better in hindsight. Maybe it was a short in there. But this is the kind of shot that I wanted to take. Either it works right away, or you just risk like 20 cents. If it goes a couple of dollars, I love the R&R there. Another example here was going over to the mover from yesterday, which was Summit. And you're going to see a theme. I was just looking for a quick reversal off of the bottom. I would have loved it all morning long if it could have gone down to $7. That was my target price. But when I didn't have any big trending trades in the chip names or any of the big cap tech, I simply went over to something simple that I knew was doing volume and looked for an entry. Didn't get 7. It does a wipeout bottom with a higher low, very simplistic kind of strategy for a reversal. Overall, it's a day 2 play, which is still well above its breakout on news. I like hammer candle bottoms like this, where you get that big wick and then immediate higher low. Little confirmation. I saw it bounce here and then kind of just punched in when it broke that previous support level to the upside. That ended up being $8, and then just throw the stop in there, scalp to VWAP, still holding some, but it looks like it's going to give it up down to 860. I thought we'd go home run over VWAP. But again, it's a really simplistic strategy that did not involve trying to get that overall trend in the market. Because sometimes what's going to happen to you, and look at AMD. Now, I wasn't in AMD the last time it went up, but I got away from the short. It was a good short initially. I mean, I'm not down on the stock. We got $1 in here, and then we had one reload, and then we took a bit of a hit on the last, so we'll be up on the stock. But we don't have it as it's breaking down. And it was such a big reversal that I didn't grab anything. I got away from losing money on the longs, which is great. That's fine. But I didn't find myself into anything but arm to the short side. So what do? A lot of the times when you're trending down or trending up, what's going to be available to you for key levels will be going against the grain. So rather than trying to constantly find bottoms, look for these little pot shots and things which are not necessarily following the market in that moment. It could be a small cap gapper. In C3AI's case, it was a stock that was strong when the market was weak with a short float that reported yesterday. So there's all these other kinds of ideas that you can have out there for quick little shots if you're not involved in a really big overall move in the market, which was this case to the downside. So your lesson of the day is don't fret just because you're not in with the big move. Don't overtrade it. Don't try to force a trade against the grain. Look for opportunities that are a little bit of an outlier away from the overall trend, whether it's a stock moving on its own news, whether it's a small cap or a runner with a simplistic setup, maybe you're looking to trade off of size. All these things are available to you if you're just in a massive trending market and you don't have it. It doesn't mean you have to sit it out, but there's nothing wrong with backing away and finding other opportunities out there. It's great if you're with the trend today, no question about it on that short, but if you took your shots and either missed or got out, look for something else, and until you find it, it's always okay to sit on your hands. That's your lesson of the day today. I think it was a great example because if you didn't have that short, it was a really difficult place to be trying to trade this morning.
Very much.
Boom.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Neil. Informative. I just noticed you were dancing. And awesome. Neil Roberts every day. Not today, but most days. He'll be around noon. Jeff Mendel was here, so they went out for lunch there. So shout out to Neil Roberts. Thank you very much for your lesson of the day. You want to cover some of those trades that you had? There you go.
Also, yeah, you're robbing yourself. You're robbing yourself if you do not check out Neil Roberts' lesson of the day. Shout out to that. I'm just staring at Tesla. Because Tesla, to me, I like why you went short there. This was the level that I said was kind of interesting, that 175.20, because look how that was kind of a base, and then we petered out and broke. So yeah, shout out to you on that. I haven't taken it for myself yet because I want to wait and see who is calling me. No, you are not.
That's so annoying.
I do not know who it is. I will deal with them later. But yeah, to me, this is a nice short. It's not one that I'm feeling in my own personal confidence in, which is why I'm not taking it. But shout out to you, Sharif. You're going to kill that trade. Hope you print, as you say to me.
Hey.
Also, so Apple, I'm still staring at this breakdown. I took a couple short the pops off here. I was happy with it, but I really, like Sharif was mentioning, these little bottoming tail candles, kind of dicey, and I want to wait. I'm super proud, though, of what I did in AMD, so I'd like to talk about that. I'd like to have an AM discussion about it. So I took one short here off this 161.40 area. I like this area because that was also where we chopped and turned earlier. Took the short, took it, I want to say like 15 pennies, got out. Then I got this long. And this is right after I said, oh, I haven't taken any longs today. I'm not taking any longs today. I don't want to take longs. I need to keep going short. And then I was like, but Adara, you actually do like this long. So take it. So I see, this is a planned scalp, took it into 60, took it into that previous little trophy area, took 20 pennies. So what I'm trying to say is, I know these are not like trades of the year, these are not dollar clubs, but what I'm trying to do is take scalps I'm confident in. And if that's a strategy that's working for me, I want to stick with it.
Bang.
So I'm really happy with the trading I've done today. So like AMD, if you want to go back to rejecting at that 161.40, don't act like I can't short you again. Because I can.
Oh, threats made.
Threats have been made. Also, I took a really quick SPY scalp short, so just to mention that. But yeah, thank you, Sean, for reminding us. We did mention this a little bit earlier. We're going to mention it once again. If you love freedom and wealth, which I'm sure you do if you're here on this lovely show, and if you're a fan of Sean and Brendan, which again, I'm sure you are if you're on this lovely show, definitely check out the Freedom and Wealth podcast. We mentioned this a little bit earlier, but in case you missed it, we do have a podcast. It is Freedom and Wealth. And it's Sean and Brendan, so two great combos together on one podcast. That will be dropping 10 a.m. on Saturday, first episode. Check that out. We definitely gave some love for this earlier, but thank you, Sean, for reminding us about that. We got to mention this awesome podcast that you must take a look at. Freedom, Wealth, new podcast room, 10 a.m. on Saturdays. Where could we go wrong? You can't. It's an awesome one. Also, SPY flipping a little bit happy. I took that little scalp short there, like 20 pennies. But also another thing that we really want to pump as well is our new segment.
Yes,
That
well,
involves the mustachioed man to my right.
yes, but it's good because the people have their say. Forget about me, I'm just the tool. It's you guys that get to have your say during this 2 to 220 phase. If you have a ticker that we just haven't covered on this show or on the morning show because we were trading other things or just didn't make the cut, now is your time to actually have it talked about by the big kahunas. So go in the chat right now, enter exclamation point, join, space, and then the $sign, and put in the ticker of your choice, whether it's Tesla, whether it's Donald John Trump, whether it's BNAI, that's absolutely flying to the high side, breaking through 5 1/3. BNAI is the #1 gap scanner on my list, up over 100% now. If you want to talk about BNAI and see how Neil Roberts trades these small cap gappers differently than me, go in, enter it in the ticker, enter the ticker in the chat now, or you won't get your say. So shout out to everybody there. I hope you guys can join us on said segment. This is the move that I'm talking about right here on BNAI. There is no gas in this stock. There are no brakes in this stock. It's all gas, baby, on the way to 5.5. This is now 110% in the clear. We need to go and do some charting here on the wider time frame to figure out where we're going to encounter these areas of support and resistance. For whatever reason, the daily doesn't want to load up on this chart, so we're going to have to wait until that does. Otherwise, let's look at what else is moving here. I'm still about 10 pennies, not even, 5 pennies out of the, no, 10 pennies out of the money on MULN. It's holding above the 50, but below VWAP now, which is a bit of trouble. I've already put the stop on this name. We'll see what we get there. Penn, I got out of this one right at the high of the day at 46s. It came back down, and I flattened out. I said to myself, look at getting it at 17. And then look, I put an order at 17.05. It got down into 17.06 and didn't print me. Should have just stayed in this one. Looking to curl back now, 17.46 HOD. It's printing at the $0.25 right now. Great look on Penn for whoever traded this name. So I'm keeping my eyes on that. I'm short Tesla also at this 20-period moving average. It is incrementally making its way up. I put my stop already on, but I'm looking for some weakness to come in here. I'm seeing lower volume green candles than I am red candles. So it's keeping me a little interested in this trade. We're about 10 pennies out of the money on TSLA at the moment, as it is above the 20, but not really, taking it with any vigor. And the last trade that I've been in all day, and it's been absolutely doing nothing. And I did this the wrong way. I should have been taking the 190 defend as a long, 190 defend as a long, and then playing the range off the 10 period rather than trying to actually be stubborn and take that level that I earmarked earlier. We'll see if Apple can get going. Oh, Tesla's about to break here, so I'm about to get stopped out of my position on TSLA, and there it is. I am stopped out as it decidedly breaks through that 20, and you're getting a lot of curling up here. You're getting Tesla curling up, NVIDIA curling up as well. The Future above 18.3 as well right now, but on lower volume. Goggles is breaking through 170 and on its way to 170 and a quarter. There's Microsoft as well curling back into the 20 period here, and Meta really making an aggressive retracement into the volume weighted average price near that 4.6 area. It's really Apple and Amazon that are awfully weak right now on these names. We'll see if we can get something on either of them, but yeah, good look there. What's going on, Katina Man?
No, that Tesla 174 is what you waited for.
The Katina Man was waiting for Tesla 174 all day, but he was too busy enjoying his time with Jeff Mendel. I'm not going to repeat that, but that's funny. Shout out to the Katina Man there. Right idea. All good. Sean, what's up?
Yeah, I'm just looking at this Apple. I think Apple's curling in the favor of my pal Sharif, who is still long this. I'm still profitable in this name. I'm really proud of you. I'm shocked to say I'm 7 for 7. This has never happened before. So I just want to say that, yeah, I think, and it's like, I want to interrogate why, you want to always interrogate why your losing trades don't work, but also you have to interrogate why does your winning trades work, because I think that's part of it as well. Yeah. And I feel like why today has been going okay for me is because it's been scalp nation. I have just been in and out, in and out. If I don't feel comfortable in a name, I don't trade it or I say goodbye. And I think that's how I need to be going forward. I'm really proud of the trading I did today. But yeah, this Apple, we did profit on half the position, or no, sorry, 2/3 of the position. Got out at 190. We broke up into 190.20s. I got out. So did take a small bath in that part of the position. But yeah, happy with what I did here with Apple. Comment t'appelles too. Apple saying, hi, I'm Apple. So nice look there.
Americans are not going to have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was like, what's my, what's my name? And it's.
Well, tell them why. I mean, we learned French here from basically grade 4 onwards. Did you take it from earlier?
I took it from earlier, but also like my grandpa's from Quebec. So yeah.
Speaking of French Canadians.
Michel
Speaking of French Canadians.
Great transition.
Yeah, Michel Hébert, $5 Canadian super chat there. Thank you very much, Michel. Something to watch. Huge buys of GameStop. June 21st, $20 calls in the afternoon of last week. Now, 140,000 open interest. GameStop rockets up after the fills. Let's have a look at GameStop to see what our friend Michel Hébert is talking about there. I should tell you that BNAI just got to $6, okay? $5.95 HOD, this thing is flying. Whew. All right, so good look here. For GameStop, we're still below the volume-weighted average price. Michel talking more from the options look and definitely more of a swing trade than an intraday trade. If I had to guess, you know, I definitely want something either range-bound here on GameStop or look for a breakout trade above the volume-weighted average price. There's also that 2260, which was yesterday's closing print on GME, but I'm not going to take a trade on this. I already got cut up on Donald John Trump, so I'm less inclined to want to trade this one. But good luck there, Michel. Hope you print on those calls. We all know how much you like that, and you've been trading GameStop and AMC for a long time. I remember you've been one of the OGs there in the chat. So shout out to Michel Hébert. See what we get there. Let's go over. Sorry, I'm just trying to find my Mullen trade. This is the one that I'm still involved in here in small cap gapper world. We're 2 pennies out of the money as this one comes right back above the volume weighted average price. Holds the 50 on the 5 like a glove. But it's really the Apple trade that we're in a lot of trouble on, and we have been essentially all morning. So we're gonna have to wait and see whether this one can catch a bid. But it's holding 190 in general. Not holding it from a strict sense, but it's holding it in general. Let's see if this one can make its way up.
Indeed, let us see. Apple curling here, so hopefully you can get some of those tasty apple pie profits. I honestly, you know, we know I love support resistance flips, which I learned from Sharif over here. I do think that that if this initial resistance here around that 190.15, 190.20 flips to support, you can definitely cash me inside. How about that? In the Apple long. Shout out to Bad Baby for some reason. Killer Cam saying, why is Snow tanking? Time to buy yet? So Snow was earnings last week, so it could be, you know, later earnings kind of related move. Also though, too, I don't know about Snowflake. Have you seen anything with Snowflake on your blotter?
Let me have a look.
We had a bit of a volume drop there.
Sure, let's look. Here it is. Yeah, Snowflake shares moving lower. Traders circulate. Hudson Rock report suggesting Snowflake cloud storage giant suffers massive breach. Hackers confirmed to Hudson Rock access through infostellar infection. This is what I was just trying to tell you guys. I mean, this is why there is spending with different internet security providers. We talked about this yesterday with Zscaler reporting. I'm involved in Pandub, and I was saying that I felt a headwind would be corporate spending with different companies to prevent this type of thing. Once one company gets compromised, their system is therefore, you know, hackable, and it's going to make its way onto the dark web for sure. And so to prevent that, some of these companies are going a little bit with Zscaler, a little bit with Pandub, a little bit with Snowflake and the like. So this is the problem with the investment in these names. I'm starting to notice anyway from just my observation. So there it is, there, that's the headline.
Yeah, thank you so much for going over that there. Let's go over the chart itself. Snow, this one is on a sled to the downside. It keeps rejecting off that 9 EMA. The snow is falling. And yeah, this one kind of getting a little bit flaky here as well. We get to the 9 EMA, shoot to the downside, continued weakness. We're trying to bounce here at 130, around that 134 area, but we're not really having that viciousness. So right now, it looks like this name might be snowed in for the downside for the day. are not good time for longs. Also, Michel Hebert clarifying, does not mean I bought the calls, meant that calls are being, so he didn't buy the calls. He's just saying calls are being bought on GME, especially those June 21st $20 calls. Fills happened in the afternoon are associated with huge appreciation in the price. Thank you for clarifying, Michel Hebert. So Michel Hebert is saying that he did not buy the GME calls, just saying that there are calls being bought. Thank you there. Also, Tesla, getting kind of interesting. It could be a Mesla, but it could also be Mesla. I like that we're coming back to that 25 area. Like Tesla, if we bounce off previous support again, you can cash me in that trade. That is 100% for sure. Let's see what happens here. Shout out to KC saying, too nice out on a Friday. Take your money and run. Yeah, that weather certainly seems pretty nice. How are we doing in Toronto right now? 21 degrees. That sounds amazing. That sounds heavenly. Cannot wait to get out in there in that nice weather. But yeah, Tesla, if we bounce, I will bounce into this trade. Also, BNAI getting lots of mentions. So we've got to talk about Brand Engagement Network. This one had a CEO switch up. Now we have co-CEOs. This on Wednesday. They also announced a share offering there, or a pricing of a private placement. So interesting look. And I love this bounce twice off that 330 level. Gorgeous. Then we kind of curl below VWAP. Will we break above VWAP? Do you think so? Yes, we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've got an hour worth of 5-minute green candles.
Wow.
There. But you know what else you can get it for just 20 minutes in about an hour? That's right.
Yes.
It's a new segment.
You have exactly 40 more minutes to vote. Get your say in now. Get into the chat. Type in join, exclamation point join, and then the space and the $sign, and put in the ticker of your choice. We'll have Sean, we'll have Neil cover the levels for you. If you want to know a specific look, do you like that level, do you like this level, have your say, and they will absolutely cover it. So that's going to be the look there. 2 to 220 every day. You have to vote by 150. So go ahead and get that vote there. This BNAI is absolutely rocketing up $7 HOD. It looks like they're at the moment, yeah, it is $7 or $7.01 actually, the high of the day. Right back into that 650, 6 2/3 area. Great look here for BNAI, but you know, to me, I'm going to have to get it off a retracement. I just won't trade it willy-nilly like that. It's just too aggressive for me to do such things. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. But what is recovering a little bit is this dead one. Now we're only 10 pennies out of the money on Apple here, and I don't want to jinx it because we still have the 20 period that we have to retrace, and we're definitely having trouble with that at this moment. But what I'm seeing is a general market recovery here. You're seeing a lot of curling. Nothing, you know, we're definitely not making back the majority of the losses, that's for sure. The NQ is still down 1.5%. But you're seeing a lot of these Mag 7 names curl at least into the 20. The deepest of the curlers right now, Meta coming back into VWAP, and then second only to, for Tesla only second to Meta, breaking above the 20, still south of that 50 and well below VWAP. But everything else really here at the 20 or below, Apple included, that's trying to break above the 20 right now at that third of a dollar, $190.33. Absolute defend on 190 intraday. I kind of anticipated this a little bit. I traded it wrong, though. I kind of felt that, once you got above 190 on a closing basis, that like we did yesterday, that 190 would defend on an intraday basis, and it looks like it is at the moment. So we'll see what we get there. Ike Anderson, CRM, bye. CRM. Let's have a look at. Let's have a look at client relations management over here and see what they're up to. Wow, nice recovery here for Salesforce. 216 low, 228 high. What's the percentage of the retracement? Let's go to the 15 here. See exactly where we're at. We're still well below. We're still 17% below that level. We do have a very interesting level coming at 230, and I'm going to be all eyes and ears and every other sense I have at this level, because that is the consolidation area top after that big huadunk that we put in after earnings. 230 is going to be on my watch there for possible short. So much do I like it. I'm going to go ahead and put an alert at 229 and a third. In fact, I should actually bring that down to the $0.50. I'm going to bring it down into the $0.50. There we go. So adjusted that. Yeah, I want to see exactly what we do on that one, Adara. Very interesting, level 230 on CRM.
Yeah, there are so many interesting levels. And you know what else is interesting? Freedom and wealth. Two topics that we know we're always trying to chat about here. And if you like Freedom Wealth and Brendan and Sean, and you like tuning into podcasts on the weekend, I have a podcast for you. It's called the Freedom and Wealth Podcast. And it airs every single Saturday, 10 a.m. Check that out on the Freedom and Wealth Podcast channel. Press that subscribe button as I have done here if you want to subscribe and join these two men and freedom and wealth in this lovely community. I was going to say a thing, and I don't remember what I was going to say. Tesla bounced, but Tesla is really having a hard time for whatever reason getting above 175.60. Sorry guys, I know I'm not in any trades right now. I'm trying to take a look at this and just make sure I'm in, finding some stuff that makes sense for me. Right now, I'm not seeing anything I love, which is why I haven't traded anything right now.
The Katina man is long Apple.
Oh, Sean is hopping in and the Cupertino with Sharif. They're both long Apple here. Cupertino, I don't know. Also, Gaurav was mentioning Nike maybe being a long from these levels. I don't disagree here. I think, though, probably the better entry for the long would have maybe been this base of this 93.70, because right now we are trying to break a new high of day. Great look there. Sorry, I know you mentioned this a little bit earlier as well. Sorry, I wasn't able to get to that earlier, but shout out to you, Gaurav. Nike definitely running to the upside. Happy I was able to take a little bit of profit out of this short, but Nike's like, short who? Not me anymore. Nice move up here for NKE. What's Freedom and Wealth, Sam may ask? That's our new podcast. What's Freedom and Wealth, Sam? Come on. It's our new podcast.
Come on.
It's a new podcast featuring Sean and Brendan. And you can watch it every Saturday morning, 10 a.m.
Can you preface the topic for us, please? You want us to advertise it for you, so we've got to give the people a little bit of a taste.
Yeah, so we're talking about characteristics.
They're going to be talking about characteristics. I'm not sure of what.
What about that? Can we use the data button?
Yo.
If we're going to use the Brent Goat button.
Turn
There
my
he is.
mic up.
There he is. Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, there's Obi in the background.
Oh, there's Obi.
We're just chilling. We're back from lunch. We went out with Jeff Mendel from OTC Markets. Thank you, Jeffrey, for that. And then we're talking about BYD here. We like that. Oh, and we're talking about brisket. But today's topic of the day is our Freedom and Wealth podcast. We are very, very excited to be launching that tomorrow at 10 a.m. We'll be having many guests on there, potentially including Randy.
Satan? Oh, my bad. My bad.
Satan?
I don't know. I saw Satan in the back.
What's going on here? But no, we're going to be talking about sort of some of the characteristics that are necessary and that what we've noticed from successful traders and not just traders, of course, but, building something that you can be proud of, that you can get some, possible side hustle, a little bit of money there, small businesses, talking about just different. When we're here on the show, we talk about day trades and we make numerous trades and we go back and forth with all that, but there's so much more to managing wealth and accumulating assets and just having a good old time talking about this kind of stuff. So if you are interested in it, which you should be, please join us immediately tomorrow at 10 a.m. as we have over 520 subscribers to an empty YouTube page. Are we done? Okay. No, I was gonna talk to Randy because right now. Oh, is it coffee time? All right. See everybody. I'll be back in 45 minutes live with my good friend Mr. Neil Roberts as we guide you through the closing show. What is that? What are you looking at over there? Oh, apple fritters. Neil's looking up apple fritters. If anybody wants to send some apple fritters for the closing show, Randy's excited about apple fritters over here. It's Friday. Do we have some technical problems over there? What's going on? Yeah, let's go Apple. Here goes Apple. It's starting to get up to the upside right now. We're long 190 flat. What? The world's biggest apple fritter? Show it on the screen. Can you guys see that? Yeah, that's. Wow. You don't really get the context of it because you can't. Yeah. So, nice little mic here we got. You guys ready yet? Yes, sir. We're always ready. All right,
We're always ready.
That's what I like to hear, Sharif.
Yes, sir.
That's what I like to hear.
And I got to tell you, I'm just very pleased that you're back and punching long into Apple.
Yeah, we're long off 190 off that support level there.
Shout out to
All
the
right.
Cantina Man,
I'm
baby.
outta here. People are tired
He'll
of me.
be on.
See ya.
Neil, Sean, you guys know exactly how it works. They're going to be on between 2 and 2:20. Well, they're going to be on from 2 to 4. And Sean and Adair will be on for the market recap show. But this is how you get Sean to show you his levels. This is how you get Neil to tell you about his look. Right here, Ram. They're going to go exclamation point, join, space, $, and the ticker of their choice. And then Neil, Sean, they're going to cover it, and we're going to tell you why it's moving, and they're going to give you the technicals, a look, and if they've traded, they're going to tell you all about their trade. So go in, have yourself a say right now. Otherwise, you don't get your say. All right, so now that Apple is back at our entry, 190.44, setting up some beak wetters here in more reasonable areas. We were initially, you can see here, we were initially printing on it at 191s, but it rejected that level. So let's see now. It's above the 20. It's above the 10. It put in a plethora of bottoming tail candles at 190, showing you that the buyers were looking to defend that level or are looking to defend that level. Now, are there enough buyers to curl this back up so that we can print on it? We'll have to wait and see. Time will tell. About 40 minutes left on the show, and we're probably going to hold this for the entirety of the show, so we'll see exactly what we get there. We're also seeing the winds of change come in on the future. We broke decidedly below that 18.3. We got into 18.241. We're about 100 points on top of that level right now, coming into 18.340. So good recovery there and well above that 300-point level. I would say to you, be on the lookout for the 100-point levels at 18.4 as well as 18.450, which is approximately the area where VWAP is hanging out. I really don't anticipate market recovery, a full market recovery to go green or break even, but at least we'll get something possibly here to said high side. We'll see which ones present the best opportunities.
Yeah, so I was in this little baby Tesla short, and I got out just because I was not feeling as confident about it. I was not feeling as confident about it as I should have been, and I was like, Adair, if you don't love it, leave it. Ooh. So I said, Tesla. Insert slow violin music here. Tesla, you and I are not meant to be at this moment. And I'd be like, Adair, why'd you go short Tesla? I noticed we kept rejecting 60s. I wanted to try it. I didn't have great levels on it. And I noticed that we kept popping up. And I said, Adair, just leave it here. It lost about 9 pennies. I wanted about 20 pennies so I could live with that trade. Oh, Robbie V wants to know our thoughts on mints, MNTS. Higher, higher, higher lows. I think we need to see a break above 95 cents. Yeah, let me tell you. I think this is Momentous Technologies, I believe. Let's see here. Oh. Okay, I like this. I think first, before we talk about 95 cents, I think you need your 85 cents. Look, 1, 2, 3 possibility of 85 cents. Where's the next Acme, you ask? I see it. It's at 87 cents. So I think 85 cents first, then 87. But I mean, look at this beautiful, clean looking double bottom here. 73. Once, twice. Wicks to the downside. Man, the support in MNTS is mint. Pun intended. This is a momentous look. This daily chart as well. I like this look in the daily chart. This 95 level, let me see what. I gotta be honest, I'm not really seeing the 95 level in the daily chart for me anyway. I think what I'm seeing in the daily chart here is this 103 level. Because look, we did have that in the daily going back to February 12th. We had that again here coming back yesterday. So I think that level could be nice. The next level, I love this 125 level. We get it once, we get it twice. We're trying to get it on a wick basis. Oh no, we can't. Then, I mean, these levels of the momentous chart are just so momentous. Look at this support we had December 21st. Look at where we resist on a wick basis on March 4th. This, I think for me, it's my levels of momentous are gonna be 125, 160, 103. I'm going to be honest, I'm not seeing the 95 level, but on the intraday chart, I do like that 87 breakup. That's my look, Robbie V. Hopefully it helps, and hopefully you can charge your trade, your EV trade to the upside, although it's not in an EV. What are you looking at before we get into the lesson of the day?
The lesson du jour. Well, can you believe that we actually got a fill on Apple?
I'm so
It
happy
has
for you.
been, Adara, since 11:41 since we took a fill on this, so almost 2 hours since the last fill. Yeah, talk about packing your patience. Only reason the stop is still there, 189.88. It didn't trigger. The stop was there, guys. I promise you. It just didn't trigger. That's because it held above 189.90 all the time.
It did.
And we're ascending here into the $0.50. Likely going to be a bit of resistance with this $0.50. That's actually where I got printed, right in front of the $0.50 at 49s. The next beak wetter is sitting at 60s, and the one above that is at 90. So come what may, let's see there. What happened, Ram? Why can't you? You said I can't. Oh, okay. Oh, I got that. Okay, I got you. She doesn't have the time to believe, guys. She's busy, right? Believing requires time and thought and effort. She doesn't have time for that. Good look there for Apple. I want to also mention something that's interesting here. So as you can see, the future back into that 18,350. But look what Meta's been doing. So we talked about Meta being the stronger recovery name, at least initially. But now I feel like that's kind of changed because it's at volume-weighted average price at a time where I don't think any other Mag 7 are at the volume-weighted average price, but it's definitely finding that level of resistance and has been for the better part of 25 minutes because we've been kind of dancing with VWAP here for a little while. We're inching it to it now. We're putting in higher lows. There's no question about that, but definite resistance at the volume-weighted average price on META. What else is pumping up? So as we mentioned, we're getting into that 50-point level on the future. I'd say look for 400, then for 450 if we do clear these levels. Did we print above 50 on Apple? Yes, we did. We got into 55s, but right down into mid-40s again. So definite resistance on Apple. I didn't get printed at 60s. I was waiting for that print. That didn't come because we only came into 55s. Let's go back to look at BNAI. Okay. So now incrementally lower highs coming in here with support at $5.80. There goes the support at $5.80. And here comes 560. I'm hanging out over here. The reason I was hanging out over there is over there at 550. Yeah, I know, right? I got to adjust it. The reason I want to hang out at 555 is because, oh, crap. The reason I want to hang out here is because I like the 10-period retracement. So there we're long now at 555. I'm going to give this to 524, and then it's going to have to hold that level for me to stay in this trade. We're long at 55s. Let's see if we get a bounce back up into 65. Not yet. Okay, so we'll have to wait if it comes at all. Looking for a 10-period retracement on BNAI, and there it is, baby. All right, let's go up a little bit more, Mr. BNAI, since you were so strong earlier.
Come on, BNAI.
There another beak wetter there at 75. Adair, let's see if we can get back up to 6. Here come the 80s. We'll take out more at 80s. Let's see if we can get up a little bit higher into said 90s. We're at 75s or 20 pennies in the money at the moment on this name. It's a monster. It's 120%. That ain't no joke, baby. Let's see if this one can continue to run. The whole point of this trade was a 10-period retracement on the 5, looking for support at that level. $0.75 incoming here, Adara. Let's see if we can get a little bit higher.
Yeah, so I want to take this Microsoft trade because I was like, oh, I like that we're rejecting that level we rejected earlier. I don't know what that voice is. And then I got scared. And I think I was probably trying to trade P&L, which I don't think is good. So I was like, oh, Atara, wait. The level was fine. We would have been 10 cents in the money, but you know what? Woulda, coulda, shoulda. You got to do what you got to do. The other reason I wasn't that confident with this, and see, now it was maybe I was right because we just got filled. And then Microsoft's like, oh, well, I don't know if that's a bang. Bang for you, though. Great trade for you.
Sim trades, by the way, guys, in the sim today. Just want to remind everybody.
Yeah, Sharif is in the sim today. But shout out to you still for killing on those trades.
Sure.
Microsoft, again, I would like this to break through the Bill Gates of hell. That would be nice here for my short. But I'm not sure if we will. We are kind of chopping and churning a little bit here. If we break above 80s, I'm getting out. I know that's really small risk to reward, but that's how these trades today have been able to work because I've been risking very little and just scalping. And, you know, I like scalping. Scalping has helped. That is the type of thing I need to be doing. We are going to get to that list of the day, but I do just want to have my little micro scalp on Microsoft. Puns. But yeah, let's look here on MSFT. Don't mind me. Let's pull up Boeing for Elon to see what we can see because apparently Elon thinks Boeing what was this, 170 by next week, I think? 190 by next week. Yeah, Boeing
Ooh.
today on the daily chart is a nice little chop and turn to the upside. I like that. We're up here. Let me look on the daily for Boeing, see if it's going. Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm sorry. Boeing on the daily chart I still don't like. I'm going to be really honest with you, Elon. For my purposes, this 177 base, we keep rejecting this area. I don't know. I don't like this area on Boeing here, this 177. I'm going to be really honest with you, Elon. We're below the 90 MA. We've tried to break above that 177 a couple times, and Boeing does not want to go at that level. So I have to say 190 is over here. I think Boeing would need a mighty positive catalyst to get to 190. I'm sorry, Elon, that is my take. But hopefully, if you are Elon on Boeing, you prosper, because that's what we want here. I just want to be honest. I really wanted to be optimistic about Boeing. You could see my excitement.
Yeah.
And that daily chart was like, the daily chart was sad. I'm sorry. But that intraday, I do love that look
Do you
at the
really
intraday.
expect
that
any
top and turn.
different? Like, do
No,
we really
but
expect
I
any?
really, if people want to see a name, I want to be able to be like, oh yeah, that's a great look.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't see that on Boeing though.
No. Yeah, and I think being honest is probably
we're here for,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
But that's the look on Boeing. Microsoft, let's get micro short here on this trade. I'm just going to get out of this flat because I do want to get into this lesson of the day. And I do not have the energy to be staring at Microsoft while delivering a lesson. That is not my bag. I am not the Microsoft whisperer to my right. That is Sharif. You've been so on those Microsoft levels, though, lately, I got to say.
I think
Or
it's
show
just
you
luck. Gotta tell you the truth.
but yeah, you don't give yourself enough credit there. I like that. But happy I go to Microsoft where I did as well. Microsoft's like, yeah, okay, Adara, these gates are open to the upside. The longs are going to do their Steve Ballmer dance over there. So nice look for MSFT in the place to be. You know what else is the place to be? The Freedom and Wealth podcast at 10 a.m. on Saturdays. Yes, I will keep reminding you because this is awesome. But you know what else is awesome? Futures trading. Lesson time, guys. The futures. Thank you so much to Sharif for putting together these lessons.
Always.
I do want to shout that out. But, the PowerPoint's loading. There we go. The futures, implied balance, high and low. We have a lot of highs and lows in these markets every day. You see them with us. You're here with us every single day. Also, just Darwin saying as well, Biden is live. From what I'm seeing, Biden is expected to talk about what's going on in the Middle East, the conflict specifically in the Middle East.
Okay.
That's what I've seen.
Keep
Some
your eye
reports
on
that he's
oil.
expected to talk about. So keep an eye on oil. Also keep an eye on Zim. Zim shipping is an Israeli name.
Yep.
Notice it does move
call.
on any catalyst related to Israel, good or bad. So keep an eye on Zim.
Really good call.
Because Zim could be zooming around there. Let's take a look at the futures, though. What are the implied balance highs and lows? Shout out to Dan Emmons in our chat. The opening range of a futures contract represents the initial buying and selling pressure at the market open. So the IBH and the IBL are technically not price points, but they're going to actually rather be zones of interest that represent potential areas of support and resistance based on the opening activity. The implied balance high. It's a really new thing I learned, by the way, which is really cool. Implied balance high is the highest price reached within the first hour after the open, which is just initial buying interest. Buyers are like, me, I want it. What about the implied balance low? It's going to be the opposite of that. This is the lowest price reached within the first hour after the open, suggesting initial selling interest. I said Zim, Bryce. Sorry, it's Z-I-M. I noticed you in the chat saying what talk. I'm going to type it. Thank you, Vic-Jan Novak, for saying that. I will type it as well in the chat. It is Zim. Sorry for the lack of enunciation there. It's Zim shipping. But yeah,
What did you say?
I said Zim, but I guess they thought I said Zin for the ticker.
Oh,
So that's why I put
I
Zim
heard
in the
Zim,
chat.
yeah.
I just wanted to put there just in case I know people want to look at that. Let's talk about identifying the IBH and IBL in the chart. Time frame is great. We talk a lot about things being fractal, but you want to find a time frame that works for you. And in this case, a shorter term time frame might be best. I did not say best. I said it's best with an E. That's not what I said. That was a verbal typo. But yeah, the best time frame you want, a short term typo here. Short term time frame. Someone's going to chug some coffee.
That's usually like my gaffes, not your gaffes like that.
Like
saying things that don't make sense. Yeah.
Short-term time frame, like a 15-minute or a 30-minute chart. We're going to slow down.
BNAI.
And also we're going to shout out Sharif for his
BNAI is going, baby.
brand network. He's having some brand engagement over there.
It's decent
in that
look, Adara.
BNAI.
Decent look here.
It's a great
Yep,
look
yep.
for you. But what about opening ranges on the futures to get back to the lesson? You want to identify the high price and the low price of the first hour after the open. What's your IBH? We just talked about this. You want to look for the highest price tick within this range saying, hi.
Hello.
That's your IB high. Your IBH zone, not a specific price, mind you. You also want to look for, Sharif stance, which is so distracting, and I love it. The IBL is going to be the lowest price tick within this range. That's your IBL zone. What about trading with the IBH and the
BPI is
IBL?
there.
We also just had our crypto indicator arrive, BPI. But let's talk about the IBH and IBL. These zones will act as potential turning points here throughout the trading day. Here are some scenarios. Your breakout, you've got a decisive break, let's say, above the IBH. This will suggest a bullish continuation. Then you want to look for buying volume to confirm. Conversely, a break below the IBL with rising volume suggests bearish continuation. Retest. Price retracement to IBH or IBL. That could be interesting, right? If the price retraces below or towards that area before continuing its direction, observe to see if price finds support at the IBL for a potential long entry or resistance at the IBH for a potential short entry. Look for volume confirmation. Is the volume loud? Is the volume speaking volumes? That's what you want to see. You want to see that volume confirmation on the retest for stronger signals. What about price action zones to look for? Price action, you want to see that strong price rejection, like a candlestick, for example, with a large upper or lower wick at the IBH or IBL zone. That's going to be more significant than a weak little pat. You don't want to see a little shoulder shrug. You want to see a big oomph. You want to see that shoulder push here saying, I'm involved, we're in these markets, and we're keeping going. What about volume? Increased volume here on a breakout or breakdown from the IBH or IBL zones, that will strengthen the signal. That's a nice little, rep here showing that that signal is strong. Conversely, low volume breakout might be a false signal. We don't like false signals over here, but you have them a lot. Important considerations to consider. Yes, I was being redundant there on purpose. So the IBH and IBL, they're not foolproof. Nothing is, right? They should be used in conjunction with other market analysis tools. Market conditions also do play a role, and in strong trending markets, breakouts may be more reliable. In choppy markets, false signals are a little bit more likely. These zones are dynamic, and as the trading day progresses, the open's influence will weaken. So you might want to consider using a higher time frame like the daily chart for longer-term support and resistance levels. But remember, that's a basic framework. Practice identifying your IBH and your IBL on the charts and test different trading strategies in a simulated environment before risking real capital. But I see you are just munching on that Apple trade over here.
We're doing well on Apple now, but that wasn't always the case, quite frankly. So let's see if we can get that next print. Looking for that mid-60s and then 70s print. Here come the mid-60s. Can we cross a little bit? I think I'm sitting at 66s or 69, something like that. We'll see exactly what we get here, but good move up, no question about it. But now we are encountering the 50 period here on the 5. Let's see if that acts as a line in the sand. We take that print there nicely. All right, so now we're waiting at the not the three quarter of a dollar, at 70s for that next out. But while I tell you, while we watch that trade develop, let me tell you about the 50 pennies we just took. Super, super quick there on BNAI. Again, really not much to this trade. I've talked about this before. When these small cap gappers get extended off the 10, I look for retracement to the 10. And lo and behold, you have 15 minutes here of candles holding, you guessed it, at the 10. 10 exponential moving average, not simple. When you're day trading, I personally feel the exponential is better because it more heavily weights the local prices, the more recent pricing. When you're investing, I think that definitely, not definitely, but simple moving average probably a bit more appropriate there. In any event, BNAI, I could definitely be convinced to get into this again if it shows me the look I'm looking for. Penn, man, I really am lamenting having taken this out on the move back into 17. This has been a 17 defend, essentially, since taking that level earlier on. Initially, you had trouble with 17. We showed you that on the 1 minute. Then you reclaimed 17 on a closing basis, and then you used it as support. And here we are, 17.49 HOD, looking to break that, that 50 penny level. We traded this one well. It's positive. In my account, I'm still I'm marginally negative on the day, but I think I probably will be positive if this Apple trade works out. So we'll see. Wow, BNAI, forget about $6, baby. It's about 6 1/3, and it could be about more than that. And it looks like it will be more than that. On the way, possibly into 701 HOD on BNAI, a plethora of volume on the day. Let me tell you exactly what it's done in terms of volume. 41 million shares. So not the biggest mover. We've seen bigger than that, but good look. BNAI I could be persuaded to get back in at the right level. Now, back to Apple, still doing the dance with no pants in front of that 70 penny level. Here comes 69s, and if we cross 70, then I'll get printed for another beak whiter. We're long 42s after taking some out. I know my average was 50s, but as you take more out, it starts taking out from your initial entry first, so higher entry, and then it takes out from your lower entry. That's why the price will adjust on your screen there. So do not be alarmed. We are not changing the prices. It's just normal, right? That's how it does. It takes out from the earlier entry first. So Apple still not printing above that 70, but we did get that print at 65. So I'm trying to pack my patience with this one. It's now down 1/3%. A lot better than most of these other names. We talked about Apple leading Mag 7 today, being essentially the least down on the day. Look at this, Apple down 1/3, everything else down more than 1%. Best after Apple is goggles, 1% for Goog and Google, both 1.01, 1.06. Next in line really is Tesla with 1.5, then Nvidia 1 2/3, and then you've got the likes of Microsoft and Amazon, both over 2%. Netflix as well joins with that crew. So Penn on the way up. Mullen, oh, you Mullen, you punk.
Oh, the punk coming out today.
Yeah,
oh.
Dara, Mullen's getting called a punk because it did the dance with VWAP all day, then broke it and stopped using it. Really, Mullen, you're gonna do that to me? Anyway, so we ended up losing about 6-7 pennies on Mullen on the remaining amount, and so right back above my entry it goes. Sucks to be me. We'll look for some other trades here, namely, hopefully getting printed on Apple.
I hope you print on Apple. I hope that you Tim Cook and that get the nice and get those toasty profits there. Shout out to you. Yeah, so right now I'm looking at Amazon. You might be like, Adara, what are you doing in Amazon? Maybe you wouldn't, I don't know. I didn't think I'd trade Amazon today, and yet here we are. And why I got in Amazon is because look at these little areas of resistance we had earlier, right? Twice here, and once off the 90 MA, this area just below 175 gets a little bit spicy. Now look where we're bouncing off the 90 MA. That's right, 175. So I got long. I don't know what that voice was, I apologize. We're gonna get out some of this. Actually, are we gonna get all of it? No, we're gonna save pieces for dreams. We're gonna go to some of this at a cool 175.08. Why did I choose that level? It's random and it's below that 175.10, which is where I wanna get out by, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, just trying to scoop this out here, scalp and scoop the profits up, hopefully. Hopefully this Express delivers us some profit. I'm risking 10 pennies. If we break below 174.84, bye-bye. But that's Amazon. Also, man, was I wrong about Microsoft. Look at I got out of the short because I was like, no, you know what I mean? I don't know if I feel good about this short. I want to do the lesson. And Microsoft's like, well, you should have felt good about this short.
Right?
I'm not gonna be upset about it.
I think you had a great read on that, Adara.
Thank you. And I appreciate that because sometimes it's about the read you have. Like you can't beat yourself up for the execution. Yeah. I mean, you can, and I will. But I honestly, I did want to focus on the lesson, and I know it would have been distracted had I been in this during the lesson.
100%.
So I have to live with that. I mean, that sounds really dark. I'm not, I didn't lose anything in this trade. I was flat on it. But yeah, I do. Thank you, Sheree, for that. I appreciate you saying that. And also, I want to shout out again, you had those really fun trades on DJT. You had your awesome Apple trade. And the packing the patience on Apple was amazing. Yeah. So I really want to shout that out.
I didn't really know how that was going to end up. I got to tell you the truth. I really wasn't sure. But I want to remind you guys that you have another 10 minutes to have your say on our afternoon segment, Ram. And the only way they can do that is by going in the chat, you type in exclamation point and then the word join, space, followed by the $, and put in the ticker of your choice. Do you want the Katina man to cover Penn, or do you want him to cover Tesla? He's had trades on all of them. He's had trades on Apple. Neil's been trading a plethora of names as well. Do you want to hear about his trades? Get into the chat now. Have your say. It's every day between 2 to 2:20 when you guys get to choose what tickers the big kahunas talk about. So you have another exactly 9 minutes to get that done. And this is how you do it, Ram. Show them one more time here before we go off. Join, space, the $, and the ticker. That's basically the end of that. So we'll keep tabs on it. Wow, BNAI, unreal. What's happening with this name? 752 HOD, and I covered everything like a dum-dum at $6. We were long 550 on this name. What a move up for BNAI. Should have used the 10 as my line in the sand. Don't know why I covered everything at 6, but that's the way it is. And that's just like Adara was lamenting her trade on Microsoft because she could have printed more. Well, I could have printed more fake money on this move up into 750. BNAI is the monster we all want it to be. 180% in the clear on the day right now. So keep your eyes on that. We'll keep an eye on that as well. Mullen right back up to the upside as well. 460 HOD now on MULN. Got stopped out of this one for about 7 penny loss or whatever it was because it had broken down below the volume weighted average price after respecting it essentially since the open. So I had to draw my line in the sand, but maybe that was the wrong move as it is now about 10 pennies or 11 pennies off high a day at the moment. Wow, BNAI. Neil, are you watching this? $8, 820. This is nuts. There goes BNAI into 820. Unreal parabolic movement. And we looked at this. We looked at the short float. There's not much. Well, we don't know what the short float is because Trade Ideas doesn't have it. But I looked on my blotter or on my profile, and this is about 7.7 million shares float. So it's not the smallest I've ever seen by any stretch of the imagination. 820 HOD right now. This one's really going 215% in the clear. And so remember how we always talk about, there's always that one kind of catalyst, small cap gapper that precipitates multiple triple digit winners?
Yeah.
Could BNAI be like that holo? Remember holo? What it did?
Holo gives me like holographic flashbacks. I swear that microcloud hologram was not micro.
No,
it was not holographic. It was real.
It was not. It was absolutely not. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say here is sometimes, not every time, there is that one kind of small cap gapper that really leads the charge. It's been my observation in the past that these small cap gappers, at least the ones that come in triple digits, come in waves. So when one like Holo, maybe BNAI, kind of gets everything going, spurs them on, you'll see like a bunch show up next week. You'll have 2 or 3 triple digit winners on the day. We'll see what we get. New high day, HOLO, 8 1/4. Unreal move on this market today. Fantastic look there. Let's see what else people are yapping about in the chat. Ike Anderson says BNAI has a 0 short float. I wouldn't be so sure about that, Ike, but this the data that we get for short floats, number one, it's about 2 weeks old. Number two, sometimes it's just incorrect. One provider will say one thing, the other will say another. There used to be a website called floatchecker.com, and that always gave us conflicting amounts as to what the short was there. So, yeah, I wouldn't really rely on it. Holo giving me hollow. Elon says, Holo full of disappointment, says Ike. Yeah, I mean, if you guys held that, obviously it was not a good luck. It's more of a day trade only. I know some Holo, says Pons. I don't even want to know what you mean, Pons. Because you're always.
I think I might.
Yeah. I don't even want to know.
No.
I'm not going to apply any brain capital to that. But
Please
shout out
don't.
to Fonzie because he's one of my favorite people in the chat there.
Brain capital.
Always dropping hot lines. Zion's having his say right now. He wants to talk about NVIDIA. Are you going to want to talk about NVIDIA? You have about 5 more minutes that you can actually vote. Join, space, and then type in the ticker there. About 5 more minutes, and you guys can have your say. We have about 15 minutes left on the show. Here comes my level on Apple. I've been waiting at 190.70 for a long time. Came back into the $0.50, and it still hasn't printed me at that 70 level. Looking to get printed here or there.
Yeah, I'm in Tesla. Or no, I'm not in Tesla. I want to be in Tesla. But actually, no, I don't, maybe. I don't know. I'm having conflicting feelings. I think the biggest thing right now is it's like, I don't want to force myself into trades because I feel like they need to be in a trade. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel badly because I haven't really been, I've been in trades today, but I've been really scalpy about it. So, I apologize because when you're here, you always want to make sure you're putting on the trades, right? That's why you're here.
Oh, yeah.
But if I don't see anything I like, I really don't want to force it. Amazon, I think I had the idea right. I clearly got out too early, but in my defense, I just didn't like what I was seeing here around that 175. We kept rejecting it, and I didn't like the wicks. I thought we could have been breaking down, so I got out around 175. Tis what it is. You live, you learn, you laugh, you love. But you know what else you do? You check out the Freedom and Wealth podcast, which I will be plugging.
I feel like your energy just dropped.
Sorry, I need
I
more
know towards
caffeine.
the end of the show you get tired, I know.
Yeah, no, Sharif laughs at me because I have after this show, I have no affect. Like I get very. I know people like. I think people think I'm probably a lot more caffeinated than I am.
You about it.
No, I know you're not like upset. He gets a kick out of it because he'll come back and I'll be like, hi.
Yeah.
And I'll be like,
no, sometimes
sure,
I think she's trolling me because she's making a face, and it'll just actually be you tired.
My tired
And
face is
know.
something else.
I won't
Remember
know.
one time you saw me, you're like, are you joking? And I was like,
Yeah. No, I literally thought you were joking, but she wasn't.
no, I get no affect and I get very sleepy, which is what this coffee's for.
There
But
you
yeah,
go.
you know what else is we're great with coffee?
What?
Podcasts on Saturday mornings.
Absolutely.
Freedom and Wealth.
Absolutely.
Check it out. I'll stop pointing at the screen dramatically. Maybe I won't. But what else do we want to look at?
Can I just talk about this Apple
Please
trade
do.
over here? So I just got printed at 70s, 190.70, but I really want to mention something, and I think somebody, astutely pointed that out in the chat, that you are seeing some consolidation here on Apple, and I don't think that that's for no reason. You're at the 50 here on the 5, and that's a level that I often use as support and resistance on these futures, especially when you are, not the futures, on the MAG 7, excuse me, especially when you're trending. And definitely we were trending to the downside, so now a deeper retracement into the 50. There was definitely nothing at the 20 here. It didn't hold up at the 20 at all. It absolutely respected the 10 all afternoon, all morning long. That is until 1 o'clock came about. And then we got the decided closing print above the 10, but now we're kind of doing the same thing we were doing with the 10 with the 50. The 50 is the red line, red solid line on my chart, and it's hanging out at 190.70, and we can't really seem to break above that. It's about 20 minutes right now of consolidation. Started around half past the hour, so about 20 minutes right now. We'll see if this one can break above that 190.70 at the 50 period on the 5. What I'll be looking for is a retracement into at least break-evensville, and that takes us into 191.25. If we can get in 191.25, this will be one hell of a rounded bottom. Shout out to Big Kyle Burdett. I know he likes those rounded bottoms and rounded tops too, because he's a short. He's more of a bear,
I was
so
gonna
he
say he
definitely
probably likes
like
the rounded tops.
definitely likes the rounded tops. But because we joke around, we always talk about the rounded bottom.
He's a dirty bird, yeah.
Oh, okay, you said it. Not me,
Dirty
Big Kyle.
Burdette.
She's so proud of herself right now. I can love it. I love
I am
that.
shamelessly so pleased as punch.
There you go, guys. So Adara, non-stop punting, that is part of the characteristic of this How to Trade Midday show. That's just the way it is around here. So I'll be looking at Apple for that period, for that break above the 50 period moving average on the 5, still holding this from low 40s.
Yeah, sorry for people who are anti-pun who watch this show. I do apologize. But I will still pun. Also, Tesla, don't do this to me, man. You're giving me some ideas. Look at that one. Wait, this is Amazon. What am I doing? Okay, this is what I wanted to look at. Look at this Tesla. Look at that rejection of that previous area that we rejected at, that 176.25. Tesla, you can't do this to me twice, because I will go short, and I don't think that's the right plan. It's hard. You have to have conviction, but it's like, what if you're feeling multiple things? What if you're conflicted in your conviction? So, I don't know. I like this short.
Pam?
I do. Yeah, we're going to do it. You know what? I am going to do it. I'm going to risk into 25s. I can live with that. Smaller-ish position. Because if you like something, you have to go out after it. You can't be scared to go after it because you don't want to risk your profit. I had a good trading day, and I feel like I've had a decent read on things. So then why don't I stick with that? Now, granted, I do have a weird tendency of trying to short Tesla to the moon and back, and I don't understand why. I have no issues with the company. It's just a fun stock to short. But I mean, if I do like the trade, go after the trade. I might play this the same way I played this earlier short around similar levels, just getting out here around that 175.70, but we're gonna have to wait and see what we indeed see. If we break below that 176, that's gonna give me a lot of confidence, or confidence, if you will, in this trade, indeed. But let's see what happens here. Let's see what we get, because you get what you get.
And you don't get upset.
And you don't get upset. I love how excited you got. Do you have any plans for the weekend, Sharif?
I have like a lot.
Oh, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, today I'm going to Humber Bay Park with the boys. We're gonna get a nice outdoor sesh, Brendo, and it's gonna be fun. We're gonna do some calisthenics outside, some biking. Nice. I think they actually have those electric scooters for rent there too.
Well, you guys have such a good time.
And like the boardwalk, like the actual area by the water is like 4 or 5 kilometers.
Really?
Yeah, so you can actually have like a nice lake view, lake chill. And we're gonna go for din Tomorrow, what am I doing tomorrow? I had plans. I don't know why I'm forgetting. Sunday, I'm at the parents like I always am.
Nice.
And then we have like a whole bunch of people coming up there, and we're gonna do like a whole pool thing, hang out. Hopefully the weather holds out, and that's it. How about you? Writing?
Yeah, hopefully
Writing and
some writing.
challenge?
Pardon?
Writing and challenge?
Yeah, writing in a chill, probably napping.
Oh yeah, well.
It's
that's okay.
me.
Yeah.
So that kind of happens. But also the other thing that also Tesla. Yesla. I'm so happy I had the confidence to take this. Tesla's printing. But also, there's something I wanted to say.
Yeah.
And it was, for what I'm doing. I have a dentist appointment tomorrow, so I will be going there.
Nice.
The only reason I even say that as an event is because I don't even know where it is, so I need to figure that out before tomorrow at 10 a.m. Also, Tesla.
Boom.
Money, 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 money.
That's like a
Sorry.
50 penny winner.
It was, oh my gosh,
That
it was.
more.
Yeah.
That was actually more, actually. Where
think
did
it
you
was-
take that?
I took it at 10, so I think it was like a 40 penny winner, which I'm happy with. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. Got out some at 90s, got out the rest at 70s. Also, Tree Bullies Tree Service, I like that name. $20 super chat, thank you so much. Third super chat in the live stream. What's your thoughts about Lulu for the long-term account? I have to say, I mentioned her a little bit earlier, but I think Sun Cho leaving Lulu was not a good sign. Like, we saw that move that VF Corp had today on the announcement that Sun Cho has now joined VF Corp. So here's the month. Oh, that's the month on Tesla, which is also bad. This is the monthly on Lulu. Yeah, this to me, we're kind of range bound here on this Lulu. Let me take a look at the daily, which I think is what I meant to press when I said press the month. Oh. Gotta be honest with you, Tree Bullies, I think this Lululemon chart is kind of a little bit sour, pun intended.
Oh.
Look at that roundy top we had here at 360s. This was not a great look. We had this move. We had this little chop and churn here, and this is actually a crazy area. Look at that resistance here, switching to support at 355s. Then we slumped to the downside. We're trying to peek our little heads up here above 310, but I have to say, I think that Sun Cho leaving as chief product officer, they're now replacing, they're completely switching up that role. They're not replacing her as chief product officer. So to me, that's not a great look. I think Lulu, honestly, needs to pull those leggings up and have a nice little marathon run. But if it can't do that, like I gotta say, this chart is not inspiring any confidence in me. I think we tried to have that base at this 295. If we hold up that 295 base, maybe. I'm sorry for sounding so morose, but this chart is not giving me a lot of good vibes. I gotta be honest with you. So much like Boeing, I have to say, I do not love the look of Lulu on a long term. I think you're making that, I think I see what comment you're saying right there. But yeah, I got to tell you, I think if we stay above 295s after earnings, that could be a nice look for you. Lulu's not a person. It's Tree Bullies, Tree Service.
What a move down, eh?
Right?
Like
but that's what I mean. Like, I
200
think that rejection, I have to say I don't love. I think if we stay above 295, nice look. But I think that 311, especially below the 90 MA with earnings next week, got to say,
Oh,
do not
earnings
like
are
that.
next week?
That's why I'm saying
Oh,
that,
that's
yeah.
huge.
And yeah, I think with the chief product officer just leaving, don't think that's a great look. Also, I think we had a super chat earlier. I want to make sure we got all these super chats.
Yep.
Pardeep saying, I don't know if we talked about this. 299A super chat. I don't know what this means though. Could 1 to 3% corporate profit figures cause tanking? I think we never really know. I think
what is it?
could. I don't know what this.
1 to 3% corporate profit figures cause tanking. Well, it really depends on what the estimates are.
That's true too.
So
you're right.
it really,
yeah.
where are the analysts?
Everything
looking,
depends
right?
on what the That's Joseph Warren. When Adair speaks quietly, I get scared.
Yeah, yes, so do I. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I have different intense tones of voices. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. All right, guys, I will see you guys in 5 whole minutes. Gonna set up at the green screen. If you didn't already have your say, you can't vote right now. Voting is now closed. You can vote every day for the next segment to have your say about what tickers are covered by Neil and Sean on the afternoon rundown between 11 to 1:50. Voting stops at 1:50. I will see you guys in a hot 5 minutes.
Oh, sorry, I was so confused about that transition. Jesus Cabrera, though, actually asking for your super chat. 199 super chat. Sharif, what's your workout routine? Need to get yolked. I mean, he eats a lot of eggs, not the yolks, though. He eats a lot of egg whites. So, no, that's part of it. Sharif does definitely work out. Tree Bullies, Tree Service, thank you so much for another $20 super chat. Thanks for the game. I mean, we have a really good time here. Thank you guys so much for being here. But yeah, Jesus Cabrera, unfortunately, I could not answer the question about Sharif's workout routine, but I know he does eat a lot of eggs. There's a lot of protein, and I know there is also a lot of lifting. Yeah, maybe we'd have Sharif talk about his workout routine coming next week because he does have that workout with the boys coming out tonight. But yeah, Tesla, I want to talk about this Tesla again because I'm so happy with Tesla. Tesla's my best name of the day today, which was I was pretty happy about. Also, this is been my best day since going live. So I mean, I have to say I'm pretty happy with that. I really just want to be honest here. And it's like, when you have days that work out well, what you have to do is interrogate, thank you for the bang button, why did they go well? Well, for me, this worked out well because I stuck to my strategy. I scalped and I saved, and I'm very proud to say I went 8 for 8 on these trades today. I don't know why I traded 8 names, but it was like if I saw something I like, I tried to take it. That was what was happening here. I'm really proud of what I did. There were some names I was more kind of like flattish, like Microsoft or Amazon, but the strategy was if you see something you like, take it with conviction, have small risk, and try to make it work and don't trade P&L. Thank you guys so much. Vicky and Novak, I really appreciate it. And again, I'm just trying to be honest here because that's what we do here, and I've learned a lot from Sean, Neil, and Sharif here. We're always very honest about the trades we take. And it's like, you know, when you have a day like that, how do you repeat it? You repeat it by just being like finding what works and trying to make that replicate for you. I also want to shout out Kyle Burdett for the one trade I had today that was not a scalp, and that was this Nike. But I still took it because I did like that area of range here. I was like, hey, you know what? We have areas we can play. I ended up scalping out, so please just punch. You have to take the trades that work for you, and that's what I've been trying to do. Also, Nike, shout out to Gaurav, because I know you took that Nike long year off that 93.7 bottom, and I've got to give you a round of applause. Great work. Thank you. Take profit, Tom. Hopefully you took some profit today. This has been such a fun day of trading. I hope everyone has had such a great time. I want to look at some of these earnings names. Dell, I like this look. Look at this. We're trying to bounce here off VWAP, but we're also kind of near that area. We did have a little bit of a low here, that 137. So Dell could be a nice little look here. What else do we have to look at? What's everybody looking at here at the end of the day? Yeah, thank you, Aaron. Let's say way to stick to your strategy. I think you have to stick to your strategy. It's a huge thing I've learned as well from being on the market recap with the guy to my right, Sean, and he and I are going to have a whole other market recap tonight. Also, if you love hearing about Sean in the market recap, check out our Freedom and Wealth podcast. Please and thank you. We love that. Thank you, Bears versus Bulls. I'm so happy to be here with you guys. You're killing it every single day, Bears versus Bulls, and we'll see you guys all again tonight with Sean in the evening. This has been, yeah. What else do we want to talk about here? I hope everyone has a great weekend here. 20 seconds left. GME, says Ritz. I have a sinking suspicion we might talk about. Oh, we're throwing straight to Sharif? Okay, perfect. So, sorry, I was just talking a lot to Ramin there. But yeah, GME bouncing off VWAP here. Couple wicks, though, that I don't love these levels of. And also, look, we're bouncing off that level I drew earlier because that was pre-market support becoming resistance right off the open. That 2250 area, if we hold this, things could get a little bit spicy in GME. GME might not be able to stop. But we're actually going to be throwing right now to Sharif on the big screen. See you guys next week, same bad time, same bad channel. What's happening?
Welcome, everybody, to the segment where you have your choice. Every day, you can vote from 11 to 150 for the ticker that you want discussed on that segment. Neil and Sean, they're locked in. They're going to look at the trade